To my surprise, the more I choked the chicken, the more it just kept saying to me, harder. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to Friday's open forum of discussion where we talk about anything and everything that has occurred within the last 7 days. And as you can see, the crowd is getting bigger because there is people with a lot to say. And I want to welcome my other cohorts. I've got D Jose 101, Apocalyptic Cheeto, and Zam, and I'm of course the resident racist Greek. Welcome all. We have a few things to cover. Some things I've left out. I needed to add Mario Brothers to my list.
It's been a busy week on the channel as well. Holy shit.
Yes, we've had a very busy week. A lot of stuff has come out, and we're trying to keep on top of it. But the beauty is, moving forward, if we don't have time to do it all, we'll just talk about it here. You know, we have the time and the place to review and talk about whatever we want, as long as we don't drag on too long per show or film or whatever. We can talk about it here. That being said, we are going to be covering Star Wars Celebration, of course. It completely flew under the radar for me, and I think a few of us here, because we scrambled to get the Ahsoka trailer reaction. I did a trailer reaction to it. I don't do reactions, but everyone else was working at the time. I wasn't working today, and so I just jumped in and did it. And I'm glad I did, because I'm so disenfranchised that I thought, yeah, let's go for it. So we are talking celebrations. Of course, we're going to start with WWE news in a second. We're going to be talking gaming. We are going to be talking more TV stuff. We're going to be talking about what has upset the right-wing snowflakes this week, and many other things to cover. And
this week and not today. I mean, there's something every day with those motherfuckers.
There's something every day, but that's what I mean. We cover the whole week, so you can say like on Monday they were offended by this, today they were offended by that. But this week we talk about what they were offended by. Next week it'll be something else, and the world keeps spinning around and around. And on that beautiful, sexy note, D. Jose, take us away with WWE and Vicky Guerrero, I believe you're going to cover.
Yes.
And just to be clear to anyone else who's just joined us below, do not use the R, a you know what word, or X.
There's just certain things we cannot say. So
some words we just can't say because of monetization. On that note,
we will try to keep this as PG as possible. But okay, with the Vicky Guerrero thing, what happened was Shaw came out and admitted that the stepdad, I'm just going to say, did some things.
Okay,
and
so for context, this is Vicky Guerrero's daughter.
Yep.
And Vicky Guerrero obviously remarried after Eddie passed away. And so this is the story involving the stepfather, the mother, and one of the daughters. Well, more of them chimed in later. But
sorry, I just have to ask how soon after Eddie's passing?
Few years. Took a while.
They haven't been married that long. God, like she was coming towards the end of her WWE run.
Yeah, 2015, I think. I could be wrong.
15 around there, yeah.
It's a good handful, like almost 10 years actually at that point.
Yeah, pretty recent.
Passed in 2005.
Yeah.
That's a decade afterward. I mean, she has every right to move on at that, and not move on, but like heal and move on at that point.
Absolutely. Just wondering. That's all.
Okay, so to get into context, Sherilyn Guerrero made a TikTok talking about what the stepdad did on a cruise, and we're not really going to get into the specifics of that part. Vicky Guerrero decides to go on Instagram, put a post up that has now been deleted. You can check it out on my Twitter, IronDOZ, where Vicky just puts her own daughter on blast, basically like saying, oh, you were drunk, and she never outright denied what the stepdad might have done, and that's what's got so many people upset.
Yeah.
She just
how old now, not that this makes it any better, but like how old was this was the stepdaughter or the daughter, or Vicky Guerrero's daughter?
Vicky Guerrero's daughter.
stepdad's
And the
stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Eddie Guerrero's daughter.
Yes, Eddie Guerrero's daughter. Yeah, but
Okay.
Vicky.
This is the first I'm hearing about this. So I mean,
Yeah,
you guys know
Vicky.
that Apollo Wrestling is close, but
Yeah, but Vicky never outright denied anything, and she just put Sherilyn on blast, and she just went all crazy, and people are like, "Yeah, Vicky Guerrero's got to go." Apparently, AEW has released her from her. Yeah, AEW has apparently released her from her contract, which is understandable given all of these things that are coming out now. So yeah, it's a mess with this whole.
Wait, so
Vicky
okay,
Guerrero
so we're talking about the big R word here, correct? Or are we talking about
Yes.
the P word?
No, it's not the R word. It's S assault.
Okay, so what the hell did D Jose go?
So it's like we're talking
He'll be back.
inappropriate you know
So S. So we're
touching,
talking about
invasion of
SA.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Okay, so as I said, this is the first I'm hearing about it, so that's why I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. This is a pretty big thing, and
Yeah, it's big
Vicky
time.
Guerrero basically put her kid on blast, and it's just something you don't do as a parent. Apparently, they haven't talked for years, and then their other daughter came out in defense of Sherilyn, and Chavo Guerrero has also came out in defense of Sherilyn. So yeah, it's just a whole mess with this family. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Sorry, go on.
How old was Cheryl Lynn when all this went down? Not that, as I said, not that it matters. I'm getting context here.
This was 3 years ago, I believe, during 2020, during like the Jericho cruise, I want to say.
So she was
yeah.
much older anyway. But
Mhm.
as I said, doesn't make it any better. I'm trying to get context.
Yeah, you're trying to understand it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just, AEW has apparently released her from the roster page. I think that she's pretty much going to be done with wrestling because I know years ago we all championed for, actually not that long ago, we all were championing for Vicky to make the Hall of Fame. And now I got to be honest, I don't think it's going to happen.
I said that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
let's wait and see, because with WWE they don't really give a shit, do they?
No, they don't.
They don't care. Sam, I sent you a PM in the Nerdtube.
I got it. I'm already on it.
All
Yep.
right, thank you guys. Yeah, just that red border's a little bit off-putting. Yeah, I mean, this is just messed up beyond belief, and everyone's chimed in defending Shoal as well, her sister, her cousin Chavo. You know, everyone's basically on her side, and they've just, said that Vicky's just, a moron for doing and saying what she did. It's unacceptable. And AEW were right to act straight away, get rid of her. I know that the daughter's had a lot of problems and all of that, but regardless of your personal problems, and the fact that nobody denied that the assault took place, and you're still standing by your husband over your own daughter, it just, it just shows you how messed up you are. There's difference if your daughter is like, a pain in the ass and troubled and all this kind of stuff, and she lies a lot, and you've just had enough, and you call it out on it. But the fact that everyone knows about what happened, nobody's denying what happened, and you go on social media, you lower yourself to your own daughter's level to set the record straight, which wasn't setting the record straight. And in the end, all you've done, you've just blasted yourself in the foot, and you've ended your career, and hopefully you've been blacklisted for undermining a assault victim. And it's not on. It's not on. It's clearly messed her up. She's never recovered from it. And I think the fact that the mother stood by the husband's side is probably what messed the daughter up even more. And she snapped, and that's why she went on social media. She's already got mental health problems. That doesn't mean you lower yourself to her level to retaliate. You know, it's Vicky's got what's coming to her. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree. I think
We have a
that.
comment here.
Okay.
Definitely, Vicky should not have multiple posts about it. How she went about it was awful. Keep that between fan and or she should just defend her daughter. Well, even if it is kept behind closed doors, you stand by your daughter through this. Not we hear the story about familia and all this sort of shit. It's just bollocks, isn't it? At the end of the day, when it comes to this
This
sort
is
of
it.
situation.
Even if you don't have a
Yeah.
good relationship with your daughter, even if the relationship is strained, you don't overlook something like assault. You just don't overlook it.
Yeah.
It makes you look horrible, and it basically says you don't side with the plight of victims at all when it comes to this. But you're happy to defend your toxic asshole of a husband.
Yeah.
And it's just shows you the kind of character you are. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I think as far as Vicky's reputation, though, her days in wrestling are over. She's not going to make the Hall of Fame for at least another 3 years because let's face it, if Mike Tyson could get in the WWE Hall of Fame, they'll pretty much let anybody in, knowing
Exactly.
how crazy Mike Tyson was at that time when the stuff with Robin Givens happened.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got to say regarding Vicky Guerrero. Fuck Vicky Guerrero, and that's that.
Yep. I concur.
It's just once again it's just disappointing, isn't it?
It is because we loved Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, we were championing her to be in the Hall of Fame not that long ago.
Yeah,
big time.
a good laugh.
But I mean, like she's like to come out of her husband's shadow and make a name for herself as a character within the WWE. Because initially WWE was just doing her a favor by making her semi-relevant, but then she showed that she's got ability, and then the excuse me chant and that. And
I mean, she really stood. She didn't take the handout light. Like, let's be real. The WWE gave her a handout. They said, "Look, we got a job for you," but she it's not like she half-assed it. She went all in on it, and she was a great manager heel or whatever you want to call her, valet heel.
Valet manager healed a lot.
Valet manager. Her run as a manager. Hey, Mr.
Hello.
System. Hello. Her run as manager, as GM, was fantastic. Every time something about to happen, it's just excuse me, and you're like,
People eventually started cheering that. I'm like,
it got over.
It's like everybody's booing Cena and cheering Vicky. Well, how have we gotten here? And it's like I was all there for it because I didn't like Cena either, but I just was like, how do you say that you don't know your fan base by not saying you don't know your fan base? And that was it right there.
That's actually a good segue, dude. Okay, on to the next wrestling topic. We got shit to talk about. Okay,
by the way,
we're good.
Yep, we are good. It's a long Easter weekend. Can't complain.
Yep. Okay, so we got shit to talk about. This is going to be fun. So now Vince McMahon is back in creative, and people are freaking the fuck out over it. They're like, oh, he's back. Now what are we going to do? The genius's idea is now we're going to go to SmackDown tonight, and we're going to chant fire Vince because that's how pissed off we are that he's back. Idiots. The thing to do is you don't go to the show. You don't buy tickets to the show. Yeah, you don't buy tickets to the show. You don't buy the merch. You don't buy Peacock. How hard is this to understand? Well, you got to boycott the WWE, basically.
And the thing is you also have to make it very clear on your social media and out there and get it spread far and wide that you are not there because of Vince. Because you don't want them to think, oh, the WWE is failing because it's a failing product. No, well, I mean, it is kind of a failing product, but it's like the main reason why we are not there are empty seats is because we don't want Vince McMahon. And you put that out on Twitter, you put that out on your Facebook, anywhere that an analytic can pick it up, and these jackasses in the corporate offices can actually hear it. You comment on big YouTubers and all this other shit, like the big ones that do reviews and stuff like that of wrestling that are like big name YouTubers and stuff. You leave comments saying, I had tickets to go to SmackDown and I didn't because, and I know, as I said, they probably don't look at that, but the more word of mouth you get that you are not supporting this product because of Vince McMahon, the better off you'll be. And I know it won't change much at all. But that's kind of what you have to do. Well, you got to kind of whore yourself out to social media to make your point.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. The good news is what I found out today is that Vince has a 2-year contract. So he's not like on a permanent basis. And they can kick him out. They can effectively kick him out. Even if he is a shareholder, because he's not a majority shareholder, they can get rid of him.
And we have to keep him
the product.
Yep.
They can get rid of him.
And we have to keep in mind too. This deal has not gone through yet with Endeavor. It will take probably a few more months before it does. But once that happens, Vince is losing voting power. Like, he's out. And for the first time since I think he bought the company from his dad 41 years ago. Yeah, 41 years ago. He now has to answer to somebody. He can't just go and do what he wants. He now has to answer to Ari Emanuel. And what it's going to take is people got to, not go to the shows. People have to get out there in social media engagement. Hell, even on YouTube, don't even give them views. Don't engage with WWE even online. Spread your message. Say you're not going to watch this shit and stick to it.
That's it. And those that are, I know people are going to go to the shows and that, but those that do, they should just drown out the whole show with 5 events, and then following that, just don't go.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't go. Just don't buy the bloody tickets. I know they're sold months in advance, and you book these things months in advance and all of that. I don't know if you can get refunds and all this kind of shit, but yeah, they have to be vocal. A lot of the women have spoken out as well. They're not fucking happy. I know Bailey very disappointed, and she spoke about it. That's why they've kind of disbanded the whatever her
faction is. Yeah.
And so yeah, there's some. It's an insult to women. It spits in the face of women that he could be allowed. But he used loopholes and regained power. There's not much they could do until Endeavor seals the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm them, if I'm workers, for now I either request my release, or I keep quiet and then put pressure once the deal goes through, because then they have the power to get rid of him. Say, sorry, mate, you're too toxic for the product. Off you go. We lied. Ha ha ha. Off you go. Because they'll be able to do that. But
I mean, wouldn't that be ironic though? Is that once the deal's sealed and everything like that, Endeavor goes, oh well, by the way, we lied.
Yeah, you're out. Get out.
You should really understand what that means.
Yeah,
I'd love that. I don't think it will happen, just because I mean, if Dana White could smack his wife
and still stay, then Vince ain't going nowhere.
And not just that, just the stuff he says for a horrible human being, and the way UFC fighters are treated. I mean, it's like Satan giving away his company to the devil, kind of thing. This is what's happening. Like, Endeavor are horrible anyway, but I'm hoping there's just enough pressure to say, look, we don't want this creative bollocks. This guy's a sexual deviant, and we just don't want him in the company anymore. Yeah. I know more people are going to focus on the creative stuff after what happened at Raw, because it was literally just Vince. I mean, right in the middle of a Seth Rollins segment, somebody talked to him on the side ring, like, we're not doing that. They just danced off and goes away.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. Go one more time. Sorry, DH was laughing. What happened on Raw?
So Seth Rollins he came out. He was about to do a whole bit. And they went, whilst they were at advert, somebody came and spoke to him at the side of the ring and said, no, we're not doing that. And then he just walked off. And that was it.
Seth Rollins just walked off?
Yep.
Just walked off. He did a little dance and walked off.
Through.
Yeah.
For a start, it was very nice to see on NXT by events, watching WWE Bump, which is a live podcast thing.
They spam the fuck out of it. Fire Vince.
Yeah, I spammed it, and I actually wrote some other stuff saying Vince likes to grape women and stuff like that, and they blocked me after I wrote that. Yeah.
Oh, of course they did.
But what worries me the most is that they might turn this into a fucking angle. You know what I mean? And like Vince will go, "I'll never leave." You know what I mean?
He basically did that through Triple H when Triple H came out. Because here's what's happening on SmackDown tonight: Triple H is coming out making an announcement, and it's basically just going to be regurgitating the same shit that he already said. Like, we're not going anywhere.
They're just going to use that because they know. Sorry, 1 second, Sam. They're fully aware of what's trending online, so they want to bring out Triple H to kind of help derail that, but it's not going to work. What Triple H is talking, because of everything that happened with Raw, they're just going to say, yeah, fuck you, mate. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
I was about.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Zam. I had a comment on the whole Triple H thing, but go ahead, Zam.
No, before you forget, go on.
How long? How long do we let this slide with Triple H until he becomes an accomplice with Vince McMahon? That's kind of my thing. I like Triple H as backstage person. I didn't mind him too much when he was actually a wrestler, but it's like when does Vince McMahon become an accomplice in all of this bullshit? Like
Triple H.
Give me a Triple H.
Triple H, yeah. I don't know who I said, but
you said Vince.
Guy, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, no, Triple H.
Do.
How long until he becomes an accomplice with all the bullshit that's going on? I'm not talking. I mean, I'm not talking about the sexual charges and everything. I'm talking about why the product is in such a bad state.
They're all protecting their asses.
Money.
They're just protecting their asses, money, and they don't want to go anywhere else. They know that what's Vince got? Maximum 5 to 10 years left. They can wait.
They can wait. They can wait.
No, they can wait. Yeah, hopefully Vince doesn't last that long. But yeah, just boycott the products. Just don't buy anything of theirs. And just
stopped a long time ago.
Yeah, just send a message, but people don't listen. There's the fear of missing out, or just live in this bubble, unaware of what's going on. Go on, Sam.
No, just a second. What you said, like the moment Triple H came out and goes, "We're going nowhere," and so you've got nothing to worry about. When you hear them say stuff like that, anybody, whoever the corporation, the bigwigs are, or whatever industry, you worry because things are going to change. But those things are not going to change. They don't say shit. They just let business run as normal. It's only when things are changing.
After he came out and said that, Vince was changing the show on the fly.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so,
it's gonna,
and
it's gonna get worse.
Your face.
And it's gonna get worse because there's still other things we could talk about with wrestling. Like, does this mean that WWE is gonna go back to charging $80 for a pay-per-view? Does this mean that TV rights, like we said the other day, will still be up for negotiation? Will USA and Fox get more money out of the deal? There's a fucking plethora of stuff we could talk about with this.
But that's, you see, and this is okay. That's it. I'm glad you said that, Jose, because here's the other thing as well. When corporations bang on about, inclusivity and doing all the kind of the woke stuff because they're like, yeah, this sells product. Here we are, a man that clearly done the deed and done some horrible things to women, is walks right back in, and we've heard nothing from the TV networks. Nothing. That there's been no pressure from them to say, you know what, whilst you're under contract with us, you don't get a say in anything that happens. Okay, we're taking over now. And then once you sell the company to whoever, once the TV deals are done, you're out on your ass, you can go off and do something else. But they're not doing that. Why? Because they are morally bankrupt. There's money to be made. WWE still makes some money through advertising and product sales and all this kind of stuff. And so they have been very, very quiet in this whole thing. And this is why I get so sick of liberals who, and we're not liberals here. Well, I mean, Cheeto is, but I'm not. Okay, we're commies over here, all right? And we just get sick of these corporations that just jump on these bandwagons for pats on back, and liberals coming like, yeah, these are great. I'm gonna buy their product. Woohoo! Where the fuck are you now? Putting pressure on Peacock and Fox, who have allowed Vince to come in, and none of those executives has said shit. So shut the fuck up.
And they're not going to say shit because here's the thing, too. Vince is getting $1 billion out of this deal. Exactly. He's set. He ain't got shit to worry about. Like, he's like fucking 100 women could come forward right now and say what they need to say about Vince. He's like, fuck y'all. I got money. I could fucking buy you with what I got paid. So we're set.
Just the hypocrisy pisses me off. There should have been pressure from TV. There are so many ways you can make Vince just too toxic to have around and rightly be ousted. Even if he still controls the company, they could just be like, that's fine. But whilst we're here, we want Paul Levesque to be in charge. Then once he's gone, once you've sold the company, you could do what you like. Yes, they are Funeral Friend 45. They're a massive waste of space. They're an anchor to progress. They just enable the rights. That's all they do. But now, on the flip side, Tony Khan right now must be beating his meat off while snorting a mountain of coke, because this is
Off of his meat, by the way.
off of his meat, of course. Man's hung, you know what I mean? I'm very flexible, so he's just like. Because he's like, oh, they're all gonna come back. They're all coming back to me. You know, he just did a massive
He's got a really
signing
long
with Jay.
straw.
Yeah, they did a signing with Jay White as well. And let's see let's see how many people are going to walk away from WWE because of creative and go straight to AEW.
And let's not forget our annual spring cleaning video might be coming soon, boys. We might be talking about that in a week.
Future Endeavors Club is about to gain some new members.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it's good timing for AEW because what do? You bring them all to London and you unveil them during the pay-per-view there.
Yep, because that's actually pretty damn good. Yeah, Tony Khan's meat is now trending on Twitter. Ha!
Yeah, baby.
Because, for those that don't know, All In or All Out is going to be at the fucking out in your neck of the woods, guys.
That's right.
Think they could sell?
Stadium.
I don't think they're selling 90,000. I think they're going to get at least 50,000 in that motherfucker.
Yeah, they're not going to get
maybe you might get people from Europe coming in to see it and stuff like that. You know,
they'll definitely do 60.
Mm-hmm.
Is All Out AEW's WrestleMania, or is it
basically?
Yeah.
Okay. I just was curious. I don't know. I don't know a single shit about AEW.
It's coming to London, and that is a brilliant business decision because they're going to sell way more tickets here than they would in America, way more. And I, this is why WWE after Clash of the Castle, they're coming here with Money in the Bank, and God help them when they do because they're going to get abuse from the fans like no other. Because if you think the Americans are bad, you wait till you get a couple of gobby Englishmen that have been drinking.
And we know it. And we can chant, baby. We know how to do some unique chants. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and by the way, where's Money in the Bank going to be held? Where's Money in the Bank held?
Oh God, was it Glasgow or was it Newcastle? Manchester?
I can do my research.
Please,
give me one moment.
Yes, I forgot where it's been held. I don't think it's London.
I don't think so, but we're gonna find out.
Yeah. So
all right.
I can't wait.
The O2 Arena. Okay, so yeah.
London. Oh shit, London. That is London.
Mm-hmm.
Greenwich.
Where's the O2 Arena at?
Greenwich.
Out in London.
Greenwich, southeast London.
That's stupid. They should have gone up north with it.
They're gonna sell. They're gonna sell it out just because you guys are so fucking rowdy over there. They're based on that alone.
They're trying to keep as far away from Boss Man as possible. They don't want him to run into the ring and try to scoop slam somebody.
Yeah. Don't you know I'm training to be a wrestler, guys?
Yeah,
we know.
He's gonna jump in the fucking ring, climb up the ladder, and try to grab the briefcase on his own.
And he's gonna cut the biggest promo of his life. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck did he say?"
Then our truth is gonna come out. And start throwing guys out, thinking he won the Royal Rumble, and then truth will be like, "My bad, dog."
Rubber Johnny, awesome name. Nice to meet you, mate.
Welcome
to the Rubber Johnny, lovely name. We are currently talking about wrestling and wrestling coming over into the UK. I can see it doing more countries as well in Europe because they're just they could do a 50,000-60,000 arena and sell out over here like without batting an eyelid. Clash of the Castle, I think, sold out in record time when they held the event here, and it was
that was in Wales.
Yeah, and that was in Cardiff. Yeah, and that crowd was like amazing. So yeah, I mean, it won't let any
Very
bullets.
Clever.
Very good.
Very clever.
Yeah. Thank you for your service and for keeping us safe from those commie Taiwanese chickens. Yeah. All right.
I hate children, so I mean that's all I care about. So
that's right. Okay, moving on to the next subject. We've done a good 30 minutes on wrestling, and it's always fun. The drama in wrestling is much more interesting than their product. Yes, that being said, we're moving on to another product whose drama far exceeds the crappy product that they are producing. We're talking Star Wars. And this week, Star Wars Celebration is happening here in London at XL. And I couldn't give a flying monkeys. However, they did. I wanted to talk about this mainly for one thing, but we'll get to that one thing after we talk about the things that were announced. So Daisy Ridley's coming back in a new film. I think it's called Rise of the New Jedi.
Rise of the Jizz Walker or something.
Yeah, Rise of the Jizz Walkers. And it's taking place 15 years after the events of Rise of Cum Gulgler. And Daisy Ridley come out looking stunning as always with that big, beautiful
She's
smile.
Beautiful, man. She's very beautiful.
She's lovely. I love Daisy Ridley. And, you know, with this film, I hope they do her justice, but, you know, they won't. The poor woman will just get more and more abuse and come off of social media, and we all lose. So they announced that, and I think they announced, but there are no titles as far as I'm aware for a couple of other films that they've got coming out. And hey, who wants to bet £5 that all of those get cancelled? Yeah! 4 years, no Star Wars film, and I guarantee you, none of these films are getting made that they've announced.
What happened to the High Republic era movie, which was supposed to be coming out? You know, wasn't there something?
Who cares?
I heard something
there were comic books. That's about as far as it went.
Yeah.
I just heard there was something like that. You know, 400 years before A New Hope or some shit like that.
Yeah,
you know?
it's all been scrapped, mate. It's all been scrapped. As far as we know, James Mangold might be working on something.
Yeah,
but
he's working on The First Jedi, I believe, which is about the First Jedi, ironically.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yay!
So Cheeto's excited.
Let's skip before the one that everybody wants, the Old Republic. Let's skip before and let's go all the way back to the First Jedi when they're like, "Did you just move that pen? I think I did. Did you move it with your mind?
I'm amazing.
Maybe I did." Like what are we gonna do? Where the beginnings of the Jedi Order? Is it gonna be a teen drama where it's like these kids are figuring out themselves and they're like, "Did your penis just move? It did. But wait a minute. Oh, it just did it move by itself, or did you move it?" Like
I think that's the one that John Watts is working on, isn't it?
All right. Well, while you kids talk Star Wars, I'm going to be dipping out because I got nothing to say. So I just wanted to talk wrestling. So all right, y'all. But I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pop
Great
in
to
whenever
see
you want, mate.
All right, man. Later.
Yeah.
Later.
So, yeah. We also had people hyping up like Acolyte. So Acolyte's interesting because that takes place during the High Republic time, or in between the High Republic and the prequels, and that's, you know, from the perspective of the bad guys. Putin's parents forgot to wear one. What, a rubber Johnny? Oh.
No, he's talking. No, he's talking about Putin.
Yeah, I know.
Putin, but his name is Rubber Johnny.
Pay attention.
I'm trying, but it's Star Wars. It's like I'm half in, half out.
I know. We'll get to that in a minute. Don't worry about it. So yeah, we've got Acolytes that we're talking about. Yeah, great hype, great. The trailer dropped for Ahsoka. You know, I'm interested in it because it's Rebels live action and it's David Filoni helming this. So hopefully he just has carte blanche to do something good with it. But what are your guys' thoughts on Ahsoka?
Well, it had Ray Stevenson in it, and he's been in my cab twice, so that's pretty cool.
And Zam only tried to give him oral once.
He's a very cool guy, Ray Stevenson. So I'm very happy to see him in this. It looks good. I mean, people wanted this. You know, they wanted Rosario. This is where the fans got what they wanted. They wanted Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. They got her as Ahsoka. Obviously, we saw little tidbits of Ezra and Thrawn as well. So yeah, I mean, time will tell. We'll see how good it is. What worries me the most is like if they do a couple of seasons of this, it'll end up like how the Mandalorian's ending up, where it's just all over the fucking place and making very silly episodes which don't account for much. That's what concerns me. But it'll have purpose at the beginning, and then as the seasons go, it starts to lose its purpose.
Yeah. Cheeto?
You don't want my hot take on it?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to care because it's lasers and Jedis.
Actually, I think it looks good. I think they're actually going to at least try to bring in some of the Heir to the Empire elements, which is what it sounds like they're doing. Dave Filoni, I've never had an issue with Dave Filoni and like Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff like that. I know that they've done Star Wars a lot of justice in the past. I'm okay going into it knowing like that. Yes, we have Jedi. Here's my thing with the Jedi bullshit. So the thing is like, we got the Mandalorian. It was supposed to be about bounty hunting. Mandalorian expanded lore in the Star Wars universe, and we got nothing but Jedi bullshit from the beginning. At least going into this, I know, hey, Ahsoka's here. There's going to be Jedi. There's going to be Sith. They have an orange lightsaber, for fuck's sake. I'm excited for that. So going into this...
Oh, okay. I wasn't going crazy then, because I cut a bit out in my review. I was talking about the lightsabers, but because my review was dragging on a bit, I just cut it out.
They're blood orange, aren't they? Yeah, they're like blood orange.
It's like a sunset orange. So I'm actually not. I mean, and plus Thrawn's there. I love Thrawn, and if done right, it could be good. Ray Stevens, I agree. Wonderful human being, great. I loved him as the Punisher, even though the movie was shit. I loved him in the Thor movies, even though those were hit or miss. Well, actually, technically, the good ones were the ones he was in. Then he was shafted in the one that he was barely in. Anyway, so I'm actually kind of stoked for this. I like the time frame that they're going for, where it's like, happening post Return of the Jedi. The one thing I didn't want with Obi-Wan was it's supposed to be his isolation in the desert for all those years. So it made no sense to have this Obi-Wan series take place, at that point for me. I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic. Let me put it that way. So now, do I want them to go on some secret Jedi temple chase to like the outskirts to find some Jedi Force magic bullshit butt plug thing that they can defeat Grand Admiral Thrawn with? No, I want Ahsoka to be going around with this crew trying to stop the remnants of the Empire and the 7th Fleet and Thrawn and stopping them. That's what I want. I don't care if there's Jedi with it. I don't care if there's Sith in it. But that's what I want. I don't want them going on some Jedi ancient temple bullshit quest.
Well, this is my fear. My fear is we're going to be doing a lot of fetch quests and needless, hey, I have a problem, help me out. One episode bollocks. And I really don't want that. I want there to be a sense of urgency. Like they plod along, they discover, oh shit, Thrawn, and then there's a sense of urgency throughout. But we know it's not going to happen. Look, they haven't landed any series apart from Andor so far. So my expectations are minimal. If it turns out great, if it's Filoni in Rebels, then we're in for a great time because I loved Rebels. So we better not get another Boba Fett. That's all I'm saying. Or another fucking... If it's Kenobi. And what worries me as well is because this is very female-led, there's like a lot of like the female characters that are leading this. If it goes wrong, it could derail everything even more. And then we could have panic situations. And it's just like, don't do this. Because all the female characters are all the good ones, like the ones that we love from Rebels. The one, Mothma as well. You got Sabine Wren, you got Hera, you got Ahsoka Tano, all this. This is getting characters in right and doing a show based around fantastically loved characters, and you have to get it right. Because if you bollocks it up, you've screwed up characters that people love. Boba Fett, I didn't give a shit. I never liked Boba Fett in the first place. So the fact that the show sucked, great, whatever. But this one, if they get this wrong, then it's not on. Go on, Sam.
Well, for me, they got to get Thrawn right. I mean, Thrawn is massive.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
they really got to nail him in a way that makes you really intrigued. He needs wins. Thrawn needs to win winning
a lot.
I win a lot, and maybe even winning the season and all of that sort of stuff. Yes, eventually when you do finally defeat him, you kill him. But for a while, you keep him on screen and you get him to win. You show him the tactician that he is, and all of that.
Sorry.
Yeah, because that's what Thrawn has always been. He's never been, he's very opposite to a Sith. Like he's not egotistical. He's far from that. You know,
more
he's happy,
calculating.
very, very calculating. You know, he actually gives a shit about his troops and his people. He wants, you know, but he understands how well he needs them. He's very different to a Sith, and
even any other Imperial admiral, he's very different from all of them.
Yeah,
they need. This is what I mean. It's very important that they show this, though. They need to show this. They can't dip out with live action and make it as soulless as everything else. They need to bring what they had in Rebels or what they've done in the comics or what they've done in the games, and just really, And Thrawn should be a bad guy that you root for in this series. You know,
and
the bad
admire
guy that,
for sure.
You want him to just carry on. You want him on screen all the time. You know, it's like I'll talk about it later on, but Bowser and Mario, you just every time he was on screen, you just loved every second he's on. And you want this with Thrawn, you know. Kylo Ren, I thought it was the biggest standout character in the new trilogy, and you were interested in his journey, not so much in Rise of Skywalker, but at least in the other two episode films, because like even with the Last Jedi, his stuff
the best thing about it.
It was the best thing by a country mile, and Thrawn needs to be like that. You have to have, because you know. Moff Gideon he's not blown me away. His performance has been wooden. I don't give a shit about him. There aren't any real bad guys in Mandalorian, so
like the fact that he's coming back again and the Mandalorian can't find an alternative villain, you know, to take his place.
Exactly.
I mean, like he's already in the Mandalorian season 2. He was so frightened of Luke Skywalker coming on board, he was willing to kill himself to not face justice from Luke Skywalker. He was defeated in season 1. He was defeated in season 2. Him coming back doesn't. I mean, I don't mind him being a reoccurring villain, but no longer the main villain. You know, that's what I think regarding regarding Moff Gideon.
Well, if he gets killed by Thrawn, that would be great.
Yeah, I was about to. I was just gonna say they could redeem it a lot if he gets killed by Thrawn. Like Thrawn comes in and he's like,
pass. Huh? And that'll be the passing of the baton as well. Yeah.
But I don't want Thrawn to come into Mandalorian season 4. I'm okay with him going. Like, I'm okay with the transition of Moff Gideon out this season of because we haven't seen Moff Gideon this season. Wouldn't it be crazy though? Like, since we haven't even seen him, wouldn't it be crazy if like Thrawn's the one who broke him out, and then we find out at the end of the season that he killed him? Like, it would be like
even been hinted this season. There should have been no hint of him this season. That's my problem with it.
If you read between the lines with a lot of the things that have been going on in Mandalorian, Thrawn could be one. I mean, the way, like, because they've even said Moff Gideon didn't have these type of Imperial forces, like the TIE Interceptors and stuff like that. Like, Moff was lucky to have like a TIE fighter. You know what I mean? Like that was very menacing for all of them with him having a TIE fighter. It's not like he had like a squad.
Yeah, so, I think we're gonna get Thrawn in episode 8.
I agree, and I'm all for it. As long
look who it is!
Oi, watch it, there, matey.
Okay, well, before we carry on talking about anything else, William, the floor is yours. Would you like to talk about anything? We can go back to talking about.
I've lost my bloody connection, I think.
Oh no, we're still
here. We're here. Oh,
well, he's frozen.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, if you can still see us on screen, saying if you want to go back and talk about the wrestling stuff, you're more than welcome to.
I'm dying to hear his opinion on things. By the way.
Oh man, I like hearing his opinion on anything. The man's a walking inside.
I was about to say, he could tell me his opinion on the Magic Mike trilogy. I'd still be down for listening to it.
Well,
yeah.
It's so
you can tell me how to make a chicken tikka masala. I'll listen to it.
That's it, exactly. So I just want to quickly see. So, regarding other Star Wars stuff,
Acolyte, mate.
So Acolyte, I talked about. I've already said yes. There's
Space
been
Cowboys or Space Junkies. What was it?
Go on.
I just can't. With the new Rey movie, I don't know. Did they actually give a name to it, or is it?
No, nothing yet.
Okay.
Well,
so
sorry, go on.
Just here's my thing: is that I don't mind Rey coming back. I mean, starting a new Jedi Order, but I've made it very clear that my favorite character from the sequel trilogy is Poe Dameron, and I want a Poe Dameron movie. and it doesn't have to be called Poe Dameron the movie. It could be called, New Republic Warriors or whatever. But as long as Poe Dameron is like that, Oscar Isaac is a freaking amazing
the Rogue
gem.
Squadron. He could be that Rogue Squadron.
He could
obviously in the sequel. Yeah, but me personally, I really think they need to give Finn some justice. If they're going to make this New Republic movie, then they need to put Finn in it and make him a fucking Jedi.
Boyega ain't coming back. He basically told him,
money.
Money talks.
But here's the thing: is that I honestly didn't mind any of the three people. Like I thought Finn was wasted. Like don't get me wrong. It has nothing to do with
Bring them all back.
Yeah.
Don't fucking have that dumb arsehole producing. It's as simple as that. Get someone else take control of the thing. That's all it is. It's not that we didn't like the characters.
No more episodes. We are done. We are done with Skywalker episodes. It is done. It is finished. Fuck. No episode 10. God damn it.
Just quickly here. So Daniel Vance, love the tease of Hera, Sabine, and Chopper. I mean, it's game over for Thrawn now that Chopper's in it. That's it.
Right?
It's over. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Welcome back, Shredder.
Thank you.
You have the floor, sir. What would you like to talk about?
Please, on you go.
Well, we already talked a bunch about wrestling. So if you weren't watching before, I mean, if you want to go back and talk about anything, we talked about Vicky Guerrero. We talked about.
You've spoken about that.
So I mean,
if you want to chime in on it, just please don't say the R word or S assault in its entirety because we don't want to be demonetized or.
Oh right. I will get pretty heated about that one, so I'll maybe give that one a miss and do something separate on that one. Did you guys talk about the announcement of AEW attempting to go to Wembley?
Yes, but you can talk about it. Go right ahead. What are your thoughts on it?
We'll go back, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm curious. How the hell is AEW going to fill Wembley Stadium of all bloody places? WWE at least has the brand recognition. So you can understand them squeezing 69,000 or whatever it was into the Millennium Stadium for a Clash at the Castle.
That was
it. in Europe, so you will get people from not just United Kingdom, I think, but other European countries coming to.
Well, it depends how many are prepared to deal with the border hassles that we've got here now. All thanks to Brexit.
Yeah, I know that, but it's still closer. I think and stuff like that.
It's closer, but again, WWE got 69. It was 69,000, something like that for the Principality Stadium. You're talking about Wembley, which concerts have a capacity of 115,000 there. Yeah, I think pro wrestling, you're looking at 110,000.
They're not going to sell that many tickets. I think they'll do. I was saying they can easily do 50K. Easily do 50K.
Yeah, but even then, that's good. That's
because it's more about
they could have gone to other arenas for a 50,000 seat, show.
I agree.
Wembley,
I agree.
If you only sell 50,000 tickets, it's going to look as barren as a WCW arena did in its final year of business. How do you pipe and drape Wembley Stadium?
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Cardboard cutouts, and it's gonna look like the old WCW, WWE, Nintendo 64 games in the crowd. There's all these flat people with their arms up, and
a couple of thousand diehards from America will probably fly over as well.
Oh God, y'all can keep them. I mean, keep them over there.
It's not like I said. It's not going to sell out. There's not. If it sells out, then bloody hell.
Is this the first time AEW
will just be like, fuck it, we're just going to do all our
this will be AEW's first show in the UK.
I mean,
first show outside of the US and Canada too.
Look, I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend like I know the business like I used to back in the day. But I mean, maybe this is just their experiment, and maybe it's going to utterly fail. But at least they're maybe putting it out there, and they're just like, you know what, we're going to see. And if it looks bad with how many seats are there, they're just going to start putting backstage crew members out in the crowd.
And the other thing with when unlike concerts, because concerts, everything's so they take one end of the arena and they've got the massive floor space. With Wembley, you're losing the most of the middle bit, and you're losing where the entrance area is. So if you're looking at the kind of the known shape of it, which is just standard of any arena, it will probably the capacity would be what 80,000.
Well, the capacity for football and rugby is 80,000.
Yeah.
So you've got to take into consideration.
I thought Wembley was 90,000 capacity.
It's about 80 or 90,000 for the capacity for football and rugby.
Yeah,
it might be 90,000.
I think it's 90,000.
Right.
But they'll probably get 80,000. But even if they get 50,000, depends on it depends on the capacity.
The ringside area is not going to take up the entirety of the pitch area.
Yeah, and their ring is not as big as WWE.
Yeah.
Floor space, so that's a point.
So again, that's why I'm thinking they're probably going to get about 110,000 for capacity, maybe 100. Let's just say on the conservative side, 100,000 seat capacity.
Yeah.
Once you include the entrance ramp, the ring, the ringside area, obviously there are going to be seats down at pit on what would be the pitch at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Again, you're probably looking at 100,000 seat arena.
So here's what you do.
Yeah.
What you do is you do what WCW did back in the day, and you invent a match that involves 3 rings, and then you put those 3 rings on the ground level, put a cage around it so it even spreads it out even further. So then you don't have as much of that floor level.
War games, baby, war games.
Yeah, war games are bringing back the war games.
That would be incredible to see if they decided to do that for the Wembley event.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I still though can't understand why. Of all the arenas, okay, you had the O2. Maybe that's got an exclusive deal with WWE. You have a variety of different stadiums around the country.
Football stadiums,
yeah. They could have gone to the Emirates. They could have gone, because the season's off when they're coming in. That they could have gone to Old Trafford. They could have gone to St. James. They could have gone. They could have gone not Fulham's ground, because Fulham's ground, it's tiny. And that, because I mean, they own Fulham, so they could literally just walk in there and do the thing.
What's the stadium that West Ham play at? Because that wasn't that an Olympic
that's the Olympic Stadium. So they could have
done the West Ham Stadium.
Yeah, they could have done it at the Olympic Stadium. God, if they did that at the Olympic Stadium, man, I might have seriously considered going.
This is ambitious,
right away. Huh?
This is ambitious. I wonder if Tony Khan has bit off way more than he can chew.
It's going to be interesting to see. It really will be interesting. I'm intrigued. Yeah, for sure.
So AEW's I was going to bring this up. AEW's attendance record is 21,177. Now the next year after that show, they couldn't even do 13,000. Well, sorry, they did 13,000. They didn't do 20,000 again.
I suppose like from like if I'm looking at it from a more positive perspective, it's for us, it's like an event thing. It's it's day out. It's you get to see, the AEW stars that people love, like your MJFs and all this kind of shit. So it's a big event that people are closer to home to get to attend. So I know I can put my hand on my heart and say it's definitely going to outsell its records that it's done in the States. I know that for a fact, but there is no way. I'm saying 50 to 60 max, and 60 is a huge stretch. And that's why you're absolutely right. Why fucking hold it at Wembley Stadium? It's just going to look barren.
Yeah, I think they're going to decor it out. If they realize it's not going to have everyone they want in there, so they're going to start maybe making changes to some of the sides of the arena, make it so it just doesn't look. I mean, camera shot wise, if they make everyone fill one side of the stadium and have the other side barren, then on camera it won't look so bad because it'll be filming the side where everyone's sitting on. So
yeah, you are all forgetting the one factor that our cocaine king Tony Khan will make it happen. He will take the biggest load of cocaine and he will run the streets of London and France and Germany and Spain, and he will in one day he will find all these fans and give them tickets to be there. So it looks.
He'll just tell Fulham fans, "Hey, look, if you've got a season ticket, you can just come to this for free."
Yeah, and that's like 30,000 just there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 30,000.
Look, if I
and they'll be chanting, "I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on."
Well, the tickets for that go on sale. Was it next month?
How much do you think?
Something like the 5th of May.
Oh, okay.
It's something like the 5th of May, and it's about 3 months they've got to sell out that stadium.
That's why they better start enticing WWE stars in there as well. The ones that want to leave because Vince is back. See if they can get them in, because by the time if they request it leave now and they grant it, was it 90 days no compete, they'll be fine for August. So Drew McIntyre, if I'm him,
we certainly might be
now.
seeing CM Punk come back.
If they get CM Punk back for that, and I think will,
he's not a draw. He's not a draw.
Yeah, well, I
he's
don't
a draw
know.
for
We'll
casual
see.
fans. Casual fans still remember who he is.
I think he's enough of a draw. Like, I mean, he may not be like Stone Cold level a draw, but I still think he's enough. It seems like he's like, as I said, I don't follow wrestling a lot anymore, but I still hear all about CM Punk all the time, even in my.
Well, look, I just can't think of any wrestler, not even The Rock. Well, maybe he's the only, but who could really get bums on seats. It just, like we're talking lots more, like enough to fill up that fucking stadium.
You're also forgetting the fact that we're not all dumb wrestling fans like some of these other people out here are, where they hear, "Hey, The Rock's back! It's going to be the best night of the entire year."
Yeah, The Rock is the exception to the rule because he transcends wrestling.
No, I'm talking about they do the same thing about like the Hurricane Gregory Helms. I mean, like they're
really.
There are wrestling fans out there that just eat up that hype, and no, it doesn't matter who you're selling them. I feel like a lot of times that they will like they advertise Brock Lesnar comes back all the time. I don't give a flying about Brock Lesnar, and I know he's been back for a couple years, but it's like I roll my eyes.
AEW would work, in my opinion.
Brock Lesnar's been back for 11 years now.
Has he been back for 11 years? Oh my god!
He came back in 2012.
Oh my god!
But if AEW was to say, I don't know, CM Punk to the show, that's maybe an extra 5,000 tickets they sell to casual fans.
Yeah.
If they sign Goldberg, who's now a free agent, that's maybe a couple thousand extra
even
tickets.
For a one night only. Like,
yeah.
I don't
look,
think
we would cringe at it, but an average fan,
the average
especially
fan,
one in the UK, who's probably never got to see Goldberg live in person.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I'd say Goldberg. I feel like would also that's a good one. Is Goldberg would be a great draw. I feel like for something like that. Even if it's one night only.
Wembley Stadium is not too far from where I live, and I live in a predominantly Jewish area, so they'll all fucking come flocking for Goldberg, for fuck's sake. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, and it could be a good draw for the.
As long as it's on a Saturday,
young
gotta be on a Saturday,
or the older Jewish lot that used to watch. Well, if it's on a Saturday, then you're not getting none of them in there, unfortunately.
The evening's fine. Friday, no chance because it's a Sabbath. Saturday night, no problem.
So our resident wrestler in training.
Well, hang on, it's the 27th of August. So what day would that be? I think that is a Friday, isn't it? Oh no, it's a Sunday.
Oh, they'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
there you
Sunday,
go. There you go.
Sunday,
there's your Jewish contingent. They've bought.
Sunday, 27th of August. That's when the show is going to be. So yeah, I mean, you can get Goldberg there.
Oh, isn't it Bank Holiday Monday as well for us? The next day.
The last Monday of the last.
That is the last Monday.
Yeah, last Monday of August is the 28th.
29th.
So that's a bank holiday for us.
So everybody's a lot of people are off work anyway. So
people in the UK are going to be well up for that.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like the strategy is
actually.
kind of unfolding pretty well for them. As I said, does it have a chance to go like spiral downhill super quick? Yes, it really does. But like if they do it right, they might be able to pull off at least a quasi success.
Hey, if they fill that stadium, and they pull off, they get the best card that they can come up with in years, then bravo, and that's something that's going to put AEW on the map.
Yeah, and
that's going to get that's even going to get WWE fans paying attention, saying, "Wait a minute, they fucking sold out Wembley Stadium."
Yeah,
with this card, and these maybe 5-6 ex-WWE guys, and the majority of it was their own talent or guys from Japan.
Yeah, I think that's why they're itching to sign. Was it Kota Ibushi and things like that? I don't know if he's going to be a big draw for obviously the UK fans and all that. But if you get him moistened up now and appealing to people that tune in on the products, you get him eyes on the AEW product. Then that could be a potential good draw if the match is right. Him and Bryan Danielson for example, or something like that. I mean, again, I'm not too big on these, so I might be talking complete bollocks. So excuse me if I am.
When is SummerSlam, by the
there.
way? Isn't that that's an August pay-per-view, isn't it?
What's that?
SummerSlam.
That's an August pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's the day before All Out.
Is it June or July that WWE is supposed to be coming over for Money in the Bank?
July.
Usually it's July, I thought.
Yeah, July they're coming over for Money in the Bank.
See, that could be detrimental to AEW because people might get their wrestling fill with WWE and then can't be fucked to do another one.
Too broke to afford because
yeah.
For every country going through a cost of living crisis, we're going through it 10 times worse than anywhere else. I got people, and I'm just going to get slightly political here, but we'll go right back into it. But where I work, I've got people who work 2-3 jobs and they're calling up because they're in rent arrears or in debt because they can't afford the cost of living. So having two events so close together, I don't know. I know one guy in Fanboy Ray Page is going to both. A new guy, Akira. I don't know if you guys know him, but he loves his wrestling. He's going to both events. So it's going to be interesting.
AEW doesn't have a big draw since Punk. Don't they have Bryan Danielson? Is he not a big draw anymore?
Mate, they struggle to fill stadiums. If you watch your average episode of Dynamite, you can see how empty the stadiums are. They're looking like at peak TNA levels.
Yeah. I'm getting TNA vibes from AEW recently. Like they're doing everything. Like they shot their load very early, and they're now doing the same sort of mistakes as TNA by just hogging all the WWE talent.
You guys heard that they're bringing in Hogan and Bischoff. I mean, starting.
Oh God, the nasty boys! Product. Oh my God,
they're coming here to save the product.
Creative.
Yeah.
That should save the product. I can't fucking wait. Well, that's pretty much it for wrestling.
Vicky Guerrero. You never mentioned that, did you?
Well,
I've said there's a very good chance I would probably get this whole stream demonetized if I was to talk about Vicky Guerrero. So I'll maybe do something separate on that.
Okay.
Fair enough. Do something separate.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Sorry. What about your thoughts on Vince coming back?
Well, we did speak about this when we were talking about the Endeavor takeover. Yeah, of course he's back.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, though, under Endeavor, he'll only have a 2-year rolling contract. Meaning that, that's quite interesting. I found that out. I can't remember who said it, but apparently Endeavor will be
Johnson at PW Insider.
If it was him, then fucking hell, then you could throw that out the window.
No, Mike Johnson is one of the more reputable sources.
Oh, is it?
At least he's not Uncle Dave Meltzer.
No, it definitely didn't come from Meltzer. No, I can't remember. I'll have to go find the video again. I'll have to look for my history where it said it. But yeah, apparently he'll be on a 2-year rolling contract. And we were literally talking about it earlier, and we're saying, look, you've got to just boycott en masse. And if you do have your tickets to go to the show and you are going to show up, just drown out, just make Vince too toxic. Because I know a lot, like Bailey's massively fucking pissed off with him coming back, and that's why they've kind of disbanded her faction.
Damage Control,
Damage Control and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of women are just not fucking happy he's back. The atmosphere has changed. People are going to request we talked about all this.
Do you think, by the way, Shredder, that they'll turn this into an angle?
What about Vince coming back?
Yeah, like the fact that people, they know that they see the writing on the wall. Vince is back. No one's happy. Let's turn this into a wrestling angle. And you got Vince coming out, cutting promos, saying how he fucking runs things, and you'll do as I say, and you'll watch what I want, and you'll never go away. But he's done that sort of shit before, hasn't he? You know what I mean?
I don't see it happening again, to be honest.
I mean, they could be protected. He might just not want to damage the product.
Well,
but the might just keep as quiet as he can until the deal goes through, as well.
Well, after the sexual assault allegations came out, he did go on SmackDown and Raw and say, "Look, I'm here. I ain't going fucking anywhere. I'm still in fucking charge," and all of that shit. He was bragging.
That was after what, 2 NDAs, and then another 3 came out.
That you can't. I'll do what I want. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, that was after what? That was after what? 2 NDAs came out, and then there was another 2 on top of that.
yeah,
and that's what forced him
exactly.
out.
Like, I mean, he came out. Eventually, he got forced out. But I'm just saying, initially, he just assumed that but he's the Teflon Don of fucking WWE. I mean, there's so many comparisons between him and Donald Trump. So he just assumed that he could do what the fuck he wants, and people would love him for it and wouldn't care the fact that he was, that he graped, allegedly graped a woman. So. Yeah. So anyway, but nevertheless, I just feel that I wouldn't be surprised if an angle comes out of this. It's just what Vince does. It's what he knows. I'll be more shocked if an angle doesn't come out of this.
Well, I wouldn't put it. I agree with you. I wouldn't put it past him, but at the same time, I think at this point, no, he's not. He's going to be on his best behavior to try and not jeopardize this deal with Endeavor.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, he's just. Yeah, it's going to be if the pressure mounts too much, then we might see him rescind into the shadows and allow creative to kind of take its natural course until the deal is done. Then after that, fuck knows. Because like we said earlier, we might think, oh yeah, Endeavor might get rid of him, but then we're like, well, they kept Dana White and he just slapped his wife like hard, and nothing happened. And the way the UFC fighters, I mean, wrestlers are
probably expecting a slap
Tony
back.
Khan is licking his lips because once the deal goes through, things can only get worse for the wrestlers. You think they're going to get treated any better? They're going to get screwed. And AEW wins and we all lose because of Tony's awful booking.
I mean, we spoke about this last week as well when we were talking about the Endeavor deal. The fact that the odds are...
Move that comment.
Talent contracts are going to be slashed. It's either going to be merchandise royalties will be slashed or guarantees will be cut. But there's going to be cuts in talent pay.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. Regardless of how much profit the product makes, they're still going to find ways to screw everyone over.
And are they going to increase the no-compete clause to the point where, again, much like UFC fighters, it will be a case of once you're finished up with WWE has a year to potentially match whatever offer you get from likes of AEW or New Japan or Impact.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward.
All right. So which one of us is starting our own wrestling corporation? We can do this, guys. Come on.
Gary is. Didn't you know he's training to be a wrestler?
Yeah, I know, but he's going to be like the John Laurinaitis. He's going to come out and
That's right.
I think that we should have some booking. Let's make it a tag team match, brother. You can't mix Laurinaitis and Teddy Long. Stop it, boss man.
His first main event is going to be himself against Joey Ryan.
Let's go. It'll sell out Wembley Arena in no time. That match alone.
Well, Wembley Arena is different from Wembley Stadium, so
yeah. That's why I said Wembley Arena, not the stadium. Let's not get carried away. It's if he has a Jimmy Havoc and Joey Janela in there as well as a fatal four-way, then we're talking Wembley Stadium, and possibly a field in the middle of Brazil in front of 1 million people. You never know. On that note, let's move on from wrestling. Go on. Yes,
one more thing. Money in the Bank, guarantee you Logan Paul's going to be in it.
Oh, God, no.
No, yeah, he will be.
Actually, I have to be honest with you. Much of him.
Don't worry, we're going to talk about that much.
I do actually enjoy watching him wrestle.
Well, that's fine, but he's an excellent athlete. There's no denying that. That's because he has the money and the physique to kind of do all that. Doesn't mean I give a shit about him.
I mean, it's like Hogan. Like Hogan was he was a great on-screen personality, but a shit human being.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And I never wanted to see him in ring either. All right. So talking about weird mustachioed creeps, none of you have seen the Mario film yet, have you?
No.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just gonna quickly say that I was very pleasantly surprised by it. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it, and it is Jack Black's magnum opus, and that's saying a lot. But
I was a bit curious about the fact that Rotten Tomatoes, the critics absolutely panned this movie, whereas the audience loves it.
Because the critics aren't gaming fans. If you're a gaming fan, you are going to enjoy this because
is that what the difference is?
That's the difference. That's the fundamental difference. They're coming at it from a movie perspective purely, but we're coming from it from both a film perspective and the fact that it's Mario game. And look, and I said it in my review. Chris Pratt, you completely forget about the whole why the hell did they hire him? Because he was great in it. Everyone was great in it, except for what's his name, Fred Armisen, who sucks in everything because he's awful.
Who did he play?
Who's he playing?
I'm not going to tell you because that's just spoiler.
Oh well, I don't care for spoilers, but I mean, don't spoil it for everybody else.
I'm not going to spoil it for anyone else.
Okay.
I don't.
No, actually, don't tell me. It's fine.
No, I don't want to spoil it for Shredder more than anyone.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Fuck me and you, Zam. Shredder's the one that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, just message me and let me know later.
I'll let you know later, but he's not that it was awful, but it was the weaker of the bunch. But yeah, it was great. Like they throw a lot in it, but it all works. Except for the score, half the score was amazing because it's Mario music with an orchestra, and the other half is contemporary music, and it just absolutely does not feel in place. It's so out of place. And I was saying, I hope when they do the digital release, I know they won't, but when they do, they should replace the score, the contemporary music out, and put in more of the Mario music remastered with an orchestra.
I heard your review on that. You mentioned that you're quite passionate about that score being.
So Sony couldn't even replace fucking text on a screen when Spider-Man Homecoming came out and they messed up 8 years later or whatever. Sony couldn't even be bothered to replace the text to say an accurate number. Like it still says that to this date. What is it, 8 years later, and when it's supposed to be like 6 or something like that, or 5? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, I am expecting nothing from Illumination. But yeah, it was the big. It was the and a couple of homages to certain things that were just like could have done without that. But other than that, I think everyone will enjoy it. I really do.
I've watched several reviews on it, and it seems like everybody has all this. Like everything that you've said, Ginger, is pretty much the exact same as everybody else is saying. Like for every like there's one reviewer that I watch for movies and stuff who's kind of like a fuddy-duddy, but he says exactly what you say. I went into it as a Mario fan and a movie fan, and kind of amalgamized that together. And honestly, I came out thoroughly satisfied. Yeah. And he even mentioned about the music and stuff. He said, I don't know why this stupid hero song is in here, like, for like every other freaking movie, like find a different one.
Vance said he liked it. Vance Major, that is. He briefly told me that he liked it as well. So
excellent.
He's already starting his fan film universe, the Mario fan film universe.
It's just him eating mushrooms.
He's also a retro gamer as well. So I know you appreciate Mario for sure.
Yeah.
Well, with a name like Racist Greek, I'm wondering if Panny's going to turn out. It'll turn out Panny has completely ripped off his review from Geeks and Gamers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I took everything. Which brings me on to my next bit. They made Peach into a goddamn Mary Sue.
Obviously, you've never played Mario 2, man. Princess Peach in Mario 2 was the best.
Well, Super Mario 3D World, she's my main character that I pick all the time because she does a little skirt float thing.
We all like that skirt
float. To safety, up skirt shot. No, wait, hang on. No, she does the skirt float thing. I love, Peach is a great character to play. Super Mario 2, she was always her and Toad were my go-tos in that. And
just for the record, she was a Mary Sue in the Bob Hoskins movie too, but no one gives a fuck about that, do they?
No, exactly.
Nobody gives a fuck about that movie anyway.
No, but the point is,
Bob Hoskins didn't even give a fuck about that movie. He was drunk the entire time.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm trying to say is that these things about Mary Sue's and stuff like that were so irrelevant back then that no one gave a fuck about it. So
now everyone's so like they have such fragile masculinity that now every time a woman shows any strength that they crumble. But she was great in this, and they there's a show it shows you how it doesn't just like it's not Ray Skywalker. It's good storytelling. in it, and it was just a great, like, just a fun team up between her, Toad, Mario, and another character, and it was just a great team up, just great performances all round. And honestly, it's like, I love when you get a mismatch of characters just teaming up and doing these kind of things. So just go watch it. I think I might actually go and watch it in the cinema this time, because I didn't. Oops. But I might go tomorrow. I'm at my brother's tomorrow, and I might go with him later on and catch it in the cinema, because it needs it.
Yeah. The only reason Ginger Greek didn't mention who the character was is because it was Bowsette.
I had a good tug about that, baby. Oh, and it's Jack Black voicing her as well. Oh, but seriously, man, anytime Jack Black is on the screen, you just want more. Like, they could literally just do a film about Bowser, and it will make it work. And I wouldn't put it past them. The Rise of Bowser, just like they did the Rise of Gru, which is a pile of crap, by the way. But the Rise of Bowser could be great if done right.
So Ginger, did you want more of Jack Black in The Mandalorian then?
No, that was a complete fucking waste of a character.
He
couldn't even deliver his lines properly in that. That's how bad that show is. They're just like, here's your script, whatever. It's like, can I sing that? No, just pretend you're a Royal Ponce. It's like, how the fuck do I do that? I'm Jack Black. And no, awful.
It is coming in at 555 pounds. Got it.
Yeah, the big show apparently.
Yeah. All right. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. Okay. So we've talked about Mario. I don't really want to go back to wrestling again, because that'll be twice. I'm always for an open forum, but we've kind of talked about that. And want to see what else was there in the world.
Star Wars. We didn't finish talking about it. There was another show with Jude Law. There was that show with Jude Law, which
that's the John Watts one, the Skeleton Crew.
Do you know what that's about?
One. Yeah, it's a bunch of kids on an adventure.
Yeah,
so they're going to be like Ewoks and stuff.
It's going to be Star Wars. It's going to be Star Wars or Star Trek Prodigy is what it's going to be. Do we know if it's animation? I don't remember.
No, it's live action.
Okay, so it's going to be live action Star Wars Prodigy is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
That's what Jude Law is going to be in.
Are we going to be a little bit, what's the word, overwhelmed with Star Wars content? Because I think Visitors is coming out not that distant future. We've got Akasoa that's coming out. We've got
Ahsoka, Acolyte, Visions. But that's it. That's obviously the announcement of Andor, which is coming out August 2024. But in terms of the films, though, there's no films coming out.
4 years. 4 years.
No matter what you've been told about the film announcements, they're not fucking getting made. Then anything with Kennedy attached to it is just going to get derailed, and nothing's going to happen.
That I don't understand why they don't get rid of her. Who is she blowing that keeps her there?
Cheetah, what she does is she goes up to the staff and she goes, Kennedy, and then she says, Kennedy.
She's got pictures of Iger or the mouse doing something in a compromising position.
And she walks off.
They kicked out Permuter, which was thumbs up. But yeah, they need to kick her out. It feels up to me. I'd kick out fucking Favreau as well, with his kiddie crap that he's turned the Mandalorian into.
I know. Here's the thing. I would not get rid of Favreau, but I would reallocate him. You know what I mean? Like I would
just
definitely.
Huh? Off. He's out. He can't write. He can't be asked. Fuck him.
No, like allocate him to like the Skeleton Crew thing or whatever. Something for kids. Something where let him do the kiddie stuff because that's all he's good at. That's what I'm saying. Like I think Favreau is a talent, but I just think that I think he's just not allocated right, and especially with Mandalorian. I think if Mandalorian was a different type of series, I think it would have been much better, but it's not. It's the Iron Man. It's the Iron Man 2, which by the way is my favorite Iron Man movie, but still not high up there on my bar of MCU movies, but still it's like the Iron Man 2 of Star Wars. It just keeps going and spiraling off into these sequel or these spin-offs, and it's just like I don't know how Favreau gets themselves in these situations because this is the second time he's done it with Disney.
I don't know, because whatever, it's just you got chucking a bunch of crap and there's no direction. It just doesn't know what to do with this character that he has, and we just get pointless crap all the time. And so I'd bring in Gilroy to take over the franchise, or Feige, and then put somebody else in the MCU, because this is actually what I wanted to talk about. This was it. Thank you that we went back to Star Wars. People on Twitter are losing their shit and getting hyped about all these announcements. And I'm just sitting there like, have you not been paying attention to the last couple of years? Like, Kenobi got derailed. There have been no films for 4 years. There were meant to be 3 films slated and nothing has come out. What the fuck are you people getting hyped for? Why are the crowds cheering when people come out? And it's just
because they're paid to cheer at those.
I mean, they're paid shills for fucking sure.
But this is
Marks, dude, Marks.
Right, but the thing is, you rolled up on it because the thing is, Star Wars is such a massive universe that they haven't tapped into. That I think that there is a potential lot of stories out there that they haven't told yet. And I think the thing is that I'm talking for myself now. There is a lot of stories out there that we want to be told that I think are going to be now because of the people involved.
But they don't.
Gary, everybody wants the old.
Gary, this is your problem. You don't pay attention to the bigger picture of what's going on. I've just said there hasn't been a film in 4 years. They keep derailing the project. There were 4 films slated to be made within that fucking 4-year period, and nothing has come out. And people are still getting hyped about the new films that have been announced and some of the new series where Filoni and Favreau aren't producing, and the other one is producing, and they're still getting hyped about it. It's like, you haven't been fucking paying attention. That's the problem. What are you getting hyped for? There should be a notable air of just, I don't give a shit, because then it's just like, fuck, we better get this right. And
what people want is Old Republic, and we're not getting it.
Yeah.
I disagree. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe everybody wants Old Republic, but like, I don't want Old Republic. I want post. I want to move forward. The Old Republic's good. It has video games. I feel like if they touch it, and maybe if they do a Game of Thrones style and they go all in on it and make it dark, but they won't. They won't, and that's why I kind of don't want them to touch it.
Yeah, right, but the thing is that these projects that were quote unquote announced weren't actually announced. They were just things that speculated upon. Like, for example, the Taika Waititi Flaming Star Wars project wasn't something that was actually announced. Just people speculating that was going to happen.
No, they announced.
No, that was the Rian Johnson. Sorry, go on.
They got Rogue One. Rogue Squadron. They announced Knights of the Old Republic. Or no, not what is it? Knights of the High Republic. They announced all these things. They were supposed to come out in the next 4 years, and we are here 3 to 4 years later, and there is F all. I'm trying not to get us demonetized today. There is F all out there right there from Star Wars.
Past now, you can fucking swear now.
God damn it!
I just said don't use certain sexual words. That
gotcha.
Was it. Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying is that until like I've got a actual press release from Disney, however, there wasn't, as far as I know. I mean, you can direct me to if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, there wasn't actually a press release about any of this shit.
Yeah, there was a whole fucking segment with Kathleen Kennedy walking on an airfield towards a fucking X-wing, promoting the film.
Yeah, there were logos. There was everything.
Yeah, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean they didn't do it. There's a whole thing. I'll send you a bunch of shit if I can find it. Okay, this is what I mean.
I'm already on it.
People are getting hyped, and then they even murmur about projects, and then nothing happens because they cannot come to an agreement because we've got a dumb fuck who's an executive producer who just doesn't know what Star Wars is. They don't know what Star Wars is. They don't give a fuck about Star Wars. Look what they've done with Star Wars. They've completely pissed it and shit all over it and targeted fucking kids. And it's just like, Andor comes along and not a bad word's fucking said about it. It's like, yeah. Hello, there's the bigger picture. One fucking show comes out that's very basic and yet beloved by all. and you go, oh, that should be the blueprint moving forward. A more mature tone, and I don't mean mature as in violence and brutality. What I mean is mature as in not a fucking Mandalorian who's a complete moron and the dumbest character in the whole of the fucking Star Wars universe, who does so. He just spends every episode expositioning. You know, they just don't get it because they're so fucking arrogant and they're so in their own little bubble that they just don't see the shit. They just fucking cry on Twitter, and then they spend the rest of their times like the Hollywood's era now is just getting back at Twitter trolls. It's like, oh well, thanks, yeah, that's what I come to see. Right.
Okay. With that, we digress.
Yes, and with that, we move on. Gaming. Let's talk some gaming. So this one's for you, Cheeto. I know you're a massive Final Fantasy fan.
I love my fantasy.
Yep, I'm sure you're going to be itching to get yourself a Final Fantasy NFT of Final Fantasy VII. Oh, yeah. And these are going to be digital cards. Look, I can see Shredder is absolutely stoked for it. And by the way, these Final Fantasy VII NFTs are done in the most fucking Square Enix way that you could do an NFT, in that you can't sell them, you don't own them, you cannot literally do anything with them. You just pay a load of money to have them, and that's it. And you can't do nothing with them.
The biggest scam in recent years is NFTs, mate.
Wait a minute. So wait, they went $159 for a cloud. Wow.
Have you seen? Yeah. Have you looking at it now?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is This is bullshit. Almost $200.
You don't even own them. It's
digital trading cards, man. Digital being the appropriate word. You'll never be able to physically touch them.
Shredder, are you going to be buying these? Nope.
No.
You were muted at the time. You have to say it again. Hang on.
By the way, okay, so I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong price list.
Can't hear you.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that. What the? No, but they look like what is it? 70. I'm trying to look at it here, and I don't usually look up NFTs, so I don't know the jargon very well.
All right, while we do that, Shredder, can we see if you get your mic working again? Because I couldn't hear you at the time.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So $3 each.
Fucking way am I buying an NFT?
Physical card packs can also currently be pre-ordered for $80.
Yeah, so you can get the physical pack as well.
Yeah, by
and then
selling,
they give you a code to own
your
an NFT, but you can't do nothing with it. It's like it's the most Square Enix thing ever. And I want to remind everyone that the guy that left, the boss that left Square Enix was replaced by a guy that was even bigger on NFTs than the previous guy, and they can't even get that right. Like, they literally cannot get. Final Fantasy is all they've got now. They don't have anything else. Well, I'm sure they do have a couple of other properties, but they've bollocksed everything up. And they're hardcore. They want to go. They want to do a Konami. They just want to move away from gaming and just go into pointless crap. That's just an easy, quick return for the shareholders.
Has Konami got the whole pachinko machine market cornered?
Yeah, that's where Konami have gone. They've abandoned gaming. They've just gone down the pachinko machine. They can't even be bothered to license their games out to other companies to make. They've just abandoned it altogether now. They've just gone pachinkos because they make more money from pachinkos than they do from games. So I know they've got what do you call it? Alone in the Dark, something coming out, but don't expect that to be any good. It'll be a miracle.
I hate NFTs. This is so stupid. Like, I'm a collector, and it's like, it just like how do people even fall for this? You know what I mean? Like, again, Daniel Vance is selling our NFTs, by the way, online. So as long as we get a cut of it, we're okay.
All right, sweet. Let's go. Nerdtube NFTs, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$420.
Sorry, Daniel.
Oh, it's a bargain. It's a bargain.
Right?
You could get yourself a copy of Pilot Jason, and if you pay a little bit extra, I'm going to send you this one, Jason. You can get X-rated version of Pilot Jason. Just give me 1 second, and I will send that to you. Hang on, where is it? You guys carry on. Don't mind.
Vance is hoping to make maybe about 1/10 of the money that Logan Paul did off CryptoZoo.
Yeah, let me see. Here we go.
That should be an
Sending it
NFT
to me
right
on
there.
Facebook?
That should be an
Like,
NFT right
Yeah,
there.
I'm sending it to you on
Sleeping Zam.
Facebook now.
Somebody activate the Zam's love sense.
Sorry.
I'll probably get banned.
Look,
If you go into contributors, you can see it.
The eyes are open. Sorry, the eyes are closed, but the ears are open.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. So there you go. I'm going to remove that in case Facebook fucking bans me.
Too late. I already downloaded it.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to download it and keep it, that's fine. I can send it to you again later, and you can have a good wank over that. Someone activate Zam's love sense. Mate, his colon has been through so much that I don't even think a love sense will make any impact up there. Taco Bell did a number on him that has never fully recovered.
Panny, was it Taco Bell or was it you?
Why not both?
Right?
Hey,
Just not at the
time
same
you had.
time.
Who cares? You know, I'm a modern man with modern needs and sensitivities. Who's to say I didn't enter him while he was eating tacos? Let's just say that the aftermath was not a fun ride.
And derailed.
Demonetized! Fuck you! Speaking of a bunch of Muppets flapping their guns, there's a new Muppet show announced.
Oh, God.
Mayhem.
Muppet right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait,
And Jam has the right top. Well, no, that's Sesame Street. That's Cookie Monster.
But he's still a Muppet.
Yeah, so are you. So perfect.
Yeah. I walked right into that.
Did they try to do that already? Or am I missed? Yeah, they did. They tried about 10 years ago to redo that.
They did. They did a fantastically
they
underrated show on ABC that was more adult, and people lost their fucking minds over it. They were completely triggered by it. They couldn't handle the Muppets outside of flapping their gums and doing garbage, and they cancelled it.
I do remember that. I actually enjoyed that show. I
loved it.
I was so mad when they canceled that show.
Yeah, it was the best Muppets we got since Jim Henson had the product, because I don't like anything Disney have done with Muppets. Not a fucking thing. It's so just wank. And this new show...
What's the new version? Is it by any chance Tim Pool with Steven Crowder's hand up his ass?
Yes, of course it is. You know.
Oh, God.
Jesus, there's a fucking vision.
I'd see what Oscar the Grouch more than that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, all we saw was just like there was the Muppet bands kind of rehearsing. I don't know what else to show us. It was like a brief teaser. Please make it as good as the fucking that ABC series was. Make it a bit more adult in theme, because you know kids don't give a shit about the Muppets. Stop trying to make things that are 50 years old catered towards kids. It doesn't fucking work. You know, kids have their own things that they like now, and
yeah,
it's all Japanese stuff.
You just got to take that stuff that made like the Muppets and Muppet Babies and everything great and just rebrand it into something else for a new generation, and let us die with our dignity, or with our media dignity. Like, quit trying to kill our stuff.
Exactly. And thumbs up for mentioning Muppet Babies as well. Which
I mean,
Muppet Babies.
In fairness, I've been able to show stuff from the Muppets to like my young nephews. Like my nephew's 14, for example. I've shown him clips of Animal having drum battles. Like in the original Muppet show, and then him having a drum battle against Dave Grohl, and he thoroughly enjoyed both of them.
Well, I mean,
there's stuff there that can entertain the whole family. It doesn't have to be completely.
I mean, let's be real. I mean,
adult oriented.
Animal relates to a lot of people nowadays because he's just like a Muppet on cocaine. So
but
I mean,
Animal is just Animal and Miss Piggy are just the two of the best fucking Muppets. You know, Horny Piggy And I mean, I love Animal. Animal is my favorite Muppet character because it just reminds. That's what my dad always said. That's you. That's what you were like. You're like this crazy little bastard here, and that's why I just love him because he's just a complete mental case. If the show focuses on the band and not that stupid fucking frog, that would be great. Or if the show even focused on Miss Piggy, that would be great. And Miss Piggy just, midlife crisis, fucking everything that walks. Oh, that would be like, we don't need to see it. I'm not that kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you can imply all that for us. We don't need to see it.
Yeah.
So she comes on to every single, was it celebrity guest they get on there? Like male celebrity guests. Like she comes on to like Keanu Reeves or something.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what she used to do a lot of the times in the old Muppet Show. She would flirt with everyone. It was brilliant, like just funny.
I think a new version of the show though probably will focus on Kermit though, because it will be the same format where Kermit is the straight man and everything mental is happening all around him.
Yeah, which you don't really need. You just need Animal just doing animal stuff, and everyone would love it.
Honestly, I think it would be hilarious if like Kermit just lost his shit and just became like this really asshole character, and they invented like a new kind of Muppet straight man. Like he just invented a whole new Muppet, like, and just made him the straight man. But then like we get to Kermit, like, oh, there's Kermit, and he's like, listen here, you fucking asshole. Like,
I watch that.
I want to see Beaker. By the way, I love Beaker. Oh, I love that.
And it turns out that him and Bunsen were just fucking meth producers, like Breaking Bad the whole time.
The expression on his face as well, like he's always shitting himself. You know what I mean? It reminds me of one of my birds. That expression on his face.
Here's an idea. Turn Kermit into a parody of Jordan Peterson.
Oh my God.
I hold on. Who's this? Who's Jordan Peterson?
Jordan
Peterson. Don't look him up. Trust me,
Jordan Peterson sounds like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be so easy to do. Just have Kermit be a parody of Jordan Peterson.
So talking of which, I know you talked about Disney before, Paddy, but one of the shorts that they've done on Mickey Mouse has actually been really funny. They just like the study like the old cartoon style. It's actually been really good, actually.
Is it new but in the old style?
Yeah.
Oh, so send it to me. I'll watch it later.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, is it? What's it called?
Disney. What's it called? Mickey Mouse something or other. I'll text you the name later.
Yeah, text me the name because I've got Disney Plus. I'll whack it on, and I only have it for
whack it on and whack it off.
Yeah. Always.
He only has Disney Plus for whacking.
That's it. I only have it for whacking.
That's because he goes back and watches old episodes of the Muppet Show and whacks off to Miss Piggy. So
yeah. Well, speaking of whacking off to Miss Piggy, we're going to talk The Simpsons. No, go on.
Actually, I was going to bring up in gaming. Isn't Jedi Survivor coming out next couple of weeks?
Yes, it is, and I'm not really excited about it. I'm going to get it on the cheap.
That Souls. Star Wars. Okay.
I like the premise of Jedi. I just recently played through Jedi. What's the first one? Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I like the premise, but I could not get into the gameplay as much. And I know I don't know. I just couldn't get into the gameplay. I like the story. But
have you ever played Bloodborne, Jason? Sorry.
Have I played what?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne? No, I don't play. Is he sleeping?
Sorry, Vance said a bunch of stuff here. Sam's just snoring.
Zaren's fucking sleeping.
I am just here with my eyes closed.
No, you are not.
No, you're not, old man. You're snoring away. I love it. Carry on. That's fine. I'd hang with the Electric Mayhem band. Oh, that's why. Yeah. So if it's called Muppet Mayhem, then it must be about the band. As they try to record their first album, Kermit won't be involved match. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Good old Vance, our encyclopedic king. I'm all for that. If it follows the band around, finally, it's a dream come true for me. Because it's
we've all talked about it. All of us would chop our left hands off just to save Daniel Vance. So
yeah,
we would also
absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry, Gary, you was talking about no, who was talking about Jedi Fallen Order? I didn't
Gary
like the
started.
combat on that.
I was just saying how I was a mixed bag for me.
Yeah.
And I was saying to Jason he should play Bloodborne because it's an excellent game, and I think he'll like it.
Yeah. Wait, we'll
It
play
is.
what? Sorry?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh
Well,
God, no. Fuck that.
I'm
Hate those
gonna
games.
let Zam sleep in the backstage for a little bit because I muted him and he's like snoring and I'm like, what? Like, how bad is our podcast if we got one of our own co-hosts falling asleep?
He wants to be so involved that he will sleep during the stream and only pop in when he needs to speak.
Yeah, he can pop himself in when he's ready to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor is coming out. I'm not that hyped for it. I don't like the combat. It's very Soulsborne, and I hate that style of combat.
Okay, so it's not just me. That's one of the parts that I wasn't feeling.
I hate it. Yeah, I have a fucking lightsaber. I should be slicing through everything, just like I was in Jedi Outcast and Academy and all this kind of stuff. And this is fucking ridiculous that every single fucking trooper can go toe to toe with me. Get the fuck out! No, ridiculous, stupid idea. That's why I'm not hyped about it. I'll just wait for it to go dirt cheap or free on PlayStation Plus.
I think it would have made more sense if you were going up against some kind of Mandalorian sect, because then at least they could have Beskar armor on and they could.
Yeah, exactly. But
no, you got to fight the Empire because it's the Empire.
Yeah, it's just daft silliness. I've got a lightsaber. Let me hack through the shit out of everything. If you don't want to give me a lightsaber, then you should have given me a fucking spear in the first game, and then I get a lightsaber or whatever. But bollocks to that. Now, the one game that is just going to blow everyone's cock off, and even I've pre-ordered it, and this is only the third game I've ever pre-ordered in my life. The other two being Red Dead Redemption 2 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I only did that because it was cheaper by £15 to do.
I have a prediction. What this is: Barbie the movie adaptation, right?
What, as a game?
Yeah, you're pre-ordering the Barbie movie adaptation.
No, I've just told you what I was. You came in too late on the joke.
It's the next Hello Kitty game that he's pre-ordered.
Of course, Hello Kitty Island Adventure 3. It's been so long. We had the first one in 2010, and only now we're getting the third one. It's just been too long.
Wait, so which one did you say?
So I said it was Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I only pre-ordered that because it was £15 cheaper if you pre-ordered it, and that game was a fucking disappointment. And Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. That game's just gonna blow everyone's fucking dick away. I said I'm gonna spend the first 8 months just building shit on it because it's like Lego Zelda, basically.
Isn't there a new TMNT game coming out? Not too distant future.
I mean that's just been announced. There's nothing been done with that one yet.
What?
The TMNT movie or the TMNT game.
That's the Last
Ronin game. Yeah.
It's just been announced, so we won't see anything for about 4 or 5 years.
But I'm excited for that. I'm anticipating 2024 release, and I'm anticipating I'm going to jizz.
No, what 2024 release?
Yeah, late 2024.
No, it's not coming out till 2026, 27 at best, mate. Come on.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, games take about 4 or 5 years to make. They're not done overnight.
I didn't think they were done overnight, but I thought maybe 2 years would be enough time.
No. Come on, Suicide Squad's been in the making for 7 years, and look what a pile of shit that is. It takes years.
Actually, I think that's coming out to the future, isn't it?
Well, Suicide Squad is, yeah, but it's been 7 years in the making, and look at the fucking. Well, the less said about that game, the better.
I mean, the thing is I think that most of the good games are actually indie projects. To be honest with you.
Yes, yeah, all their stuff, all that good stuff, and it's going to get better from the indie side because of Unreal Engine 5 and the stuff you could do with that, and being open and cheap to use for indie developers. We are going to enter a fantastic new era of gaming if they get it right and they don't derail it, because the beauty with gaming now is we've seen the utter death of live action services. Not saying we're not going to get more of that, but they're still going to keep failing at a high rate. Very rare you'll get a few that breakthrough and are a success. Single player narrative driven games are just outselling everything else, and they're making bank. So that's great to see. And with indie companies who aren't beholden to greedy corporations and publishers, then we could see a new renaissance in gaming, or I could be talking bollocks and everything goes tits up.
Well, I suppose it depends on who the company is. I mean, it could be another scam like that game. The day before?
The day before, yeah.
I mean,
what game was that? Sorry.
This was a zombie survival game that was getting a lot of publicity on likes of Steam and on YouTube, and it basically has turned out to be like a massive scam. There was never any intention to actually make the game.
Yeah. So if you look at it, like, it looks amazing, and then when they actually showcase the game, it looked like a fucking PS2 bloody era game, and even that, they're just like,
there was barely any zombies in it.
Yeah, there's barely any zombies in it. It was barren. They outdid Bethesda in Broken Promises, and they made Ubisoft look like a competent company.
It makes me think it was a money laundering scam.
It's true. It don't put it past them, But money laundering is not in a sense of because they didn't ask for money for it. Like, we didn't fund it.
No. But if you've got dirty money, then if you've got dirty money, then this is a perfect way to get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
at least to say, hey, this is where the money's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, we spent 20 million on this game, and they've only spent like £5.
20 million. We paid all these people. That's where the money went.
Yeah, exactly. And in the end, in reality, they just spent like a $5 on it.
So how I do have a question, because I don't know, like how prominent is like this scamming thing, because I'm anticipating an indie game. It's called Tears of Magic. It's kind of a spiritual successor to Breath of Fire. It's supposed to come out in 2025 or late 2024, but it's like, and they've shown several like updates and stuff like that, and it looks really good, but it's just like,
what game is this?
Tears of Magic. It's on Steam.
Is it on Kickstarter or anything like that?
They did do a Kickstarter, but then I don't think they made it, so they gave all the money back. Like, they didn't, the money only went to them if they made it.
This sound like a scam, because I'll tell you a scam. Like, for example, guys here might recognize this, but there's one where it's like basically a Mega Man spiritual successor called.
Oh, mate, come on! You're going back like 10 years now.
Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9.
That's not 10 years. That's like 5 years.
No, it's longer than that.
No, you're going back about 10 years for that one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they promised a lot, but didn't deliver. So the game did come out, but
but there
was a lot of dodgy shit going on behind the scenes with there.
Too. There's a series called Kick Scammers, and you can watch on YouTube. It's absolutely brilliant. The guy covers all the kind of Kickstarter scams that have gone on, not just gaming and everything. And it is quite it is a regular occurrence with a lot of gaming, but a lot of gaming is just not just that it's a scam. It's just that it suffers with bad management, and bad management means that they can't schedule everything properly, and things just overrun, and they don't hire enough people, or they don't get enough funding, and everything just derails. So with gaming, you just get a lot of broken promises.
Yeah, but in some cases though, you do get outright scams. You mentioned, I think it was DJ Slopes who did the Kick Scammer series.
That's it, DJ Slopes.
DJ Slopes did the Kick Scammer series. Jim Sterling also did a lot of coverage on Mighty Number 9 and the fiasco of that. But also, Jim Sterling covered a lot of the asset flips that were going on Steam.
That's right. Yeah. He's covered a lot of scams, and he's also we also got caught up in his own controversy of not paying his own fucking editor.
Be she now, wouldn't it? James
James.
Or I can't remember the pronouns, but it's James Stephanie. I know the name they're going by is James Stephanie Sterling. I just couldn't remember if it was if they were going by she or they.
They, sorry, yes, they.
Right.
My bad. Just quickly here with the fans. Gunn confirmed today that the next season of Peacemaker is years away. Yes. It will come out after his Superman movie. Good.
No, I like the first season of Peacemaker.
Shut up.
I hate it when you win, you son of a bitch.
No. I'm in the minority in this one, but I'm happy to be in it.
But I mean, the thing is that I'm looking forward to what James Gunn's going to do with Superman, to be honest.
Yeah, you look forward to what anybody's doing with DC, because anything has to be better than what they're doing right now.
Which is nothing.
The thing is that I'm a huge Superman mark, and I want a good Superman movie.
We had a Superman back. Henry Cavill, he's a great Superman. We just need somebody who knows how to write Superman to do him. And do him hard.
Russo. We need Vince Russo to write a Superman movie.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Vince Russo. No, we need whoever wrote John Cena's gimmick. They know how to do a Superman well. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
And we'll put Lois Lane on a pole, and Superman has to climb it. The pole is
Lois Lane on a kryptonite flagpole match.
Yeah. Then he's gonna tag with Lex Luger, and then Lex Luger double crosses him, and it's like nobody saw that coming. Really?
Lex Luger. So we're kind of mixing analogies here. Lex Luger, Lex Luthor.
Yeah, Lex Luger, Lex Luthor. I know what I said. Don't worry.
I know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It fits.
It fits. It's perfect. It's wrestling and it's DC. It's a double entendre. Speaking of which, we had Blue Balls or Blue Beetle trailer dropped as well this week. So irrelevant that I completely forgot to put it to my list.
Yeah, it looks good.
Looks by the numbers generic, which is annoying. Sorry, go on.
No, it doesn't. It looks like the Blue Beetle film.
Mate, you fucking think that paint?
No, I've actually read the bloody books. I know what it's supposed to look like.
You know, it's nothing. It just looks like by the numbers film.
No, it looks like the comic book.
No, it looks like a by the numbers film
no, it doesn't.
that you've seen like 1,000 times. Just because it looks like a comic
Ginger,
book doesn't.
We know that you just don't want a Hispanic hero to get any spotlight. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
Bloody Mexicans coming over here taking out superheroes.
No, but
it's getting too much now.
I mean, the thing is that the comic book, the mid 2000s comic book was great.
I mean, my only experience with Blue Beetle is more so Young Justice, which they did him justice in that show. So I mean,
he was great in that show.
So
but as a film, it's very by the numbers. Doesn't matter if they're going to play, because if they're going to take from the comic book, that's still by the numbers.
How can it be by the numbers?
It's just by the numbers, man.
I don't know. I'm just going to start throwing random shit at you and just say, how can it? And just
that's fine. But yeah, it's not, and that's a shame because I like Zolo Mandalera, whatever his name is.
Hey, your pussy's calling.
From Cobra Kai. He's I like him. He's fun, but. You know, I hope the film does well. Don't get me wrong. Just for his sake, he does well, and I do like the Blue Beetle character. But the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know, if the film flops, James Gunn's going to probably be happy because he'll get to bring in the other Blue Beetle that he'll probably want to bring in because he gets more the comedic characters that he can bring in.
It better not be Ted Cord.
Huh?
It better not be Ted Cord.
Well, don't put it past James Gunn, mate.
I don't want Ted Cord. Honestly, I'm not even a huge fan of Booster Gold either. Like, Booster Gold can be done well.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, but Booster Gold's just kind of like he's like discount Deadpool at some point.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Oh no, he's not. Yes, he is.
Have you actually read any of the Booster Gold stuff?
Have I ever read what?
Booster Gold. He's nothing like Deadpool. He's like
but I think it's like the fourth wall breaks and things
like that. I mean he's like the comedic character for the sake of being comedic. He's the one who's supposed to be there whenever he walks on screen. He's supposed to be funny, you know, like, and he's like he should be played by Nathan Fillion. Like, he's just that's just the impression I get from Booster Gold.
That's a good analogy there. So 1 second, Gary. Advance. The lighting and color scheme of the Blue Beetle trailer reminded me lots of Miss Marvel. Bright neon lights all around and and the hero color palettes. But let's hope it's half as better than Miss Marvel bloody well was.
Two DC properties I'm very surprised they haven't gone with for just a random movie, you know, I mean, like something they could maybe knock out for about $50 million would be The Question.
Oh, I know. They could do such a good Question movie.
Yeah.
Or Plastic Man.
Well, I guarantee Plastic Man they're definitely going to do a film on that now.
I think they would do a TV show, and I think they would kind of go Peacemaker route. Like, I think they would make it more raunchy. Like, I think they could.
I don't know, but
because
Plastic
I mean, the
Man...
thing is, Blue Beetle was supposed to have a HBO Max release, and then it turned into an actual movie. You know, like not even Batgirl can say that. Batgirl just got canned altogether.
Yeah, they got their tax money back on that one. I mean, it must be really fucking bad if they kept Shazam 2 and Blue Beetle and got rid of that.
You haven't even seen Blue Beetle. You don't even know. I will eat crow if it is as bad as you say it is, but I will not eat crow until I see it for myself.
can tell you from now, it's just going to be the same old bland DC bollocks under I forget the guy's name, Yamamoto.
You know what? I'm going to shove Blue Beetle's Buster Sword right up.
You know, I'm still waiting for a
bye. What? I did not do that. I did not do that.
I didn't either.
Racist. Hold on. I did not do that. I swear.
No, Melanap does that. Don't worry.
Sorry. We needed the Chinese fire drill this anyway, so you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, the DC character I'm surprised that they haven't done that. I thought that they would be like some like I'm just trying to think of like I know Shazam they've done. A new Wonder Woman maybe, I don't know.
Well, again, I think The Question is a movie that you could do for less than $100 million.
Oh, Power Girl. There you go, Power Girl. There you go.
Hey, they could never do Power Girl.
Power Girl, I think, is more of a TV series.
They have to stick her in a hijab just to please themselves. Sorry, go on, Shredder.
Like what? Like you'd spend more money on plastic surgery alone. Like what?
Plastic surgery.
Again,
the
Question. I think you could get a decent movie out of, and you could probably make it for less than $100 million.
Oh, easily.
Power Girl plastic surgery.
Because you wouldn't need a big name actor to play the part.
Yeah. No, you could literally just get a stuntman to play the part and someone else to do the voice.
Because there's no. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, there's no woman that is big enough out there to play Power Girl. You'd have to give her 3 times the implants to get to where they put Power Girl at in the comic books. I'm like, you'd spend more money on that
Christina
alone.
Hendricks.
Okay, I wasn't asking for an actual person you've wanked off to who has big tits. Okay.
No. See,
anyway, but no, Power Girl. No, here's my thing about Power Girl. Power Girl is just kind of like your generic superwoman. Like she's not even interesting in my opinion.
She's the one that they just brought in to put big tits on to keep all the fanboys kind of happy. That's all Power Girl was. I've never seen anything like Supergirl. Has had some interesting runs, but fucking Power Girl, that's why she's a D-list bloody character. Nobody gives a shit about her.
I have no interest.
People would go see the film if they brought her out in that fucking uniform, but in today's world, it's just not going to happen, and I'm okay with that not happening. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of other DC characters that they could fucking do out there, like Etrigan and all these kind of fucking people.
That could be interesting.
Ooh, Etrigan.
A Young Justice live action film, and
you know what? I would splooge the splooge of splooges over that one.
Well, apparently Keanu Reeves is going to do another Constantine movie. Sorry, Constantine movie.
I don't want another I like Constantine as a part of an ensemble, but I don't like Constantine on his own. He's just
it's not interesting anymore.
Yeah, he's really not.
If Hellblazer films came out in the 90s and were R-rated, they would have been way better. But with today's modern sensibilities, Constantine's not that interesting anymore. He's been done for a long time for me personally, and I don't want to see him come back.
Give it 5 years to forget about the TV series, and I would say Green Arrow would be a good choice.
A Green Arrow film, why not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give it another 5 years.
off.
No, give it another 5 years. Forget to let people forget about the TV series.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Look, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna jump in right there. I agree with you. Arrow did have some very questionable choices, but out of all of the bullshit DC has put out, Arrow is by far not the worst one. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not the worst, but it wasn't great.
Seasons 1, 2, 5, I think 6 or 7. There were some great seasons in there.
Oh, look, there was some great stuff, but there was a lot of crap too.
Yeah. No, but that was also because they were trying to build a unit. The Iron Man 2 syndrome. They were trying to build a universe at that point. Like seasons 1 and 2 were great, and then here comes a Flash, and then you got all this universe building, and that kind of bogged it down.
Yeah, I didn't really give a shit about it. I couldn't get into it. Flash only had the first series was good.
Oh, it's all the DC EU, the DCW shows. The only one I didn't like was it Legends of Tomorrow when playing Supergirl. The rest of them I loved.
Actually, I loved Legends of Tomorrow. Like the first 2 seasons were kind of rough, but once they just were like, hey, we're going to get canceled anyway, so let's just go balls to the wall and do whatever. And then that's when the show got good. After, like, at season 3, they're like, yeah, we're getting canceled this season anyway, so let's go. And then they got renewed, and they went even crazier, and then they went again. And then I think the last season, it kind of got a little rough, but I think they did really good in the middle there. So
yeah.
I've got to step away for a minute, guys, but I will be right back.
Okay, so Daniel Vance says Catherine Winnick from Vikings. That's a great choice, but at 45 years old, I don't know if Hollywood would have cast her in such a role. You know what their fucking attitude's like. But that was a fucking great choice.
That's a great show, actually, Daniel.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about that CW universe, there's one great. I would say there was one great casting choice in particular, and that was Leonard Snart, Captain Cold.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he was great.
The actor they picked for that, he was phenomenal in that part.
Yeah, he was great as Captain Cold. But I love Thingy as the Flash as well. It's just a flash of shit. But I would happily
Greg Gustin.
Grant Gustin, yeah. I would happily replace him replace Ezra Miller with him. They just bring him into the movie universe, and it'll be great to see. But the shows are just fucking, just wank.
Stargirl was great.
Yeah, I know you enjoyed Stargirl, but that's cancelled now as well. We're all getting a big reset button on that kind of stuff. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's move on now on to Zan's falling asleep here, but I was just gonna maybe talk a little bit about who's thirsty, who wants a Bud Light. Yeah, Vance, I told you I was going to talk about this.
Oh, good. The fact people are making a big fuss about this shows how much time people have got in their hands.
Yeah, I mean, people just going to get triggered about anything. And Kid Rock doing a whole video with his MP5, just gunning down a barrel of Bud Light.
Three or four cases of Bud Light beer.
Yeah, just gunning it down, and then 2 seconds later, oh look, a photo of him drinking Bud Light next to a transvestite pops up.
Yeah, it was drag queen, wasn't it?
A drag queen at his own fucking house party. So congratulations.
There's people as well who've been posting videos of themselves swapping Bud Light for Coors Light, forgetting that Coors Light was a massive LGBT rights supporter as well.
Yeah. It's just the things that people.
How often have we seen this? I mean, the Carhat was one of the most recent ones. Where a bunch of rednecks got pissed off for some reason about Carhat. I can't remember exactly what they were getting annoyed at Carhat for.
What's Carhat?
That was a clothing brand.
Oh, I see.
It was very popular in America. Very popular with people who do industrial work as well. But there was people who were ripping off the logo, or they were burning the clothes. There's been people who got pissed off that there was a brand a coffee maker that stopped advertising during, it was either Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson's show. So they were videoing themselves either destroying their coffee maker or putting it in the garbage.
Yeah, the one that they've already bought.
Yeah, well, you've already bought this thing and you're deciding to wreck it. Or it's like people who were burning Nike.
I was going to say
for over the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. It's like, okay, well, you've already paid for these Nikes. Just burn them. Who gives a shit? Nike doesn't care. They've already got your money.
Oh, exactly. The best one has been. I don't know if you've seen this, Paddy, but there's been the Matt Moshes of the world and stuff like that have been like losing their shit because Hershey's dared to put a trans woman in International Women's Day on their package. Right?
We saw that, but I think they're doing themselves a favor.
I can't remember what the chocolate brand is that have done this. I've done this. She/her. It's like, go and get a life. Do something else with your lives and talk about
that. Was Hershey. That's what it was called. Hershey / That was Hershey's that did it.
But again, what was it? People are pissed off the fact that Dylan Mulvaney got some weird sponsorship with them. They sent Dylan Mulvaney like a can with her face on it, because Dylan Mulvaney is a transsexual TikToker who has been documenting her transition from male to female.
Right.
And she's officially marked 365 days as living as a woman.
Okay. And they sent her a case.
They sent her some beer, and there was a can that actually had her face on it.
Nice.
And that's when people started losing their fucking minds over this.
So that's what triggered them, basically.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, how dare they, do this promotional deal with Dylan Mulvaney? And I really don't get what the hatred is. I mean, okay, Dylan Mulvaney's not my cup of tea. I don't particularly care.
Yeah.
Again, I'm happy that they're living, their life the way that they, feel happiest with. That they've transitioned from male to female. They're comfortable living as a woman. That that's what they're happy doing. It doesn't affect me one way or another.
No, but it affects your children, clearly.
Oh, yeah. It clearly affects my children.
Your child is going to drink a Bud Light now and turn into a woman. It's you're so ignorant, Shredder. It's unbelievable. But, I mean, it's just like, don't these people don't fucking understand at all that all you're doing is just showcasing your bigotry and your misogyny. You're not on the right side of fucking history. And I fucking dare them. Oh, no, they already did it with Colin Kaepernick, didn't they? Yeah, because he took a knee and that everyone lost their mind. It's just like every week, this is this week's outrage. What's tomorrow's outrage? Yeah. Next week, we're going to have something else that they're going to be fucking angry about. And but look, on the flip side, with all this like Republicans kind of focusing on the LGBT stuff, it's actually backfiring on them big time, because even right-wing commentators on Fox are just like, oh shit, we're in deep trouble in 2024. We could get fucking annihilated in the elections.
It's not just in America.
It's over here as well.
It's not just in America, it's over here too. I mean, we've got Lee Anderson, who's the vice chair of the Conservative Party here. He's admitted that they're not going to be campaigning at the next general election on policy. It's all going to be on culture wars. It's going to be about small boat crossings and about transgender people.
Yeah, and that's all they have, but it's just not going to work because people are just too fucking poor the majority of people are too fucking poor to give a shit, but then they don't need to campaign on anything else because Labour are just like, yeah, whatever, mate, we're on your side, so don't worry about it.
I mean,
if we win, we're still going to help you, friends.
Do you know what? That's pissed me off quite a lot because, like, Keir Starmer, about 4 or 5 years ago, said that he understands the difference between a legal definition and the actual definition of a woman. It's like, all right, he's actually on the right side here, and then all of a sudden, I don't know whether just because of the whole thing that happened to Nicola Sturgeon has had effects on him. But
listen. Okay, I want to make this perfectly clear to everyone. with Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer has one goal and one goal only: do absolutely everything and anything to get rid of the left from the Labour Party, and that means siding on every policy and cheering on the Tory stuff and doing even little microaggressions that he can do to derail and disenfranchise left-wing voters. That's his only goal.
I mean,
we've seen it.
He's on course to be the first prime minister ever to enter office with a negative opinion rating.
Yes. Yeah. He's an absolutely disgusting human being. I mean, he's siding with the AHRC, proposing that trans people, for the purposes of the Equality Act, should be legally be considered to be the gender they were assigned at birth. So we're basically going to side with saying, yeah, you know what, you can't identify as what you want to. Fuck you. That's what they're saying, and Labour are welcoming that review with open arms. But the
thing that bothers me is that this is gonna start affecting actual biological women, because I think it already has in North Carolina, some woman there who actually looks quite masculine got harassed and told not to go to the toilet when she was actually a very biological woman. So it's actually not protecting the people they're saying they're going to protect. Fucking twats.
Here's how things have have got, Gary. In I think it's Tennessee. I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Tennessee. They have actually legislated where trans youth can be excluded from certain sports at the school age level after a genital inspection.
Yep, that's right. They're openly advocating that we can inspect your genitals, which basically all that says to me is any legislation where I can marry a child or just look at their genitalia is great. Which is just it's a nonce psyops. Basically, is what it is. It's nothing to do with caring that they're trans. It's just an excuse to look at, kids' private parts.
Have you looked at any of these comments from Daniel Vance recently, or no?
Yeah,
yes, I'm just about to read Yes, I'm just about to read the. Meanwhile, right-wing legislators are expelling Democrats from Tennessee State House for having the gall to stand for protesters. Yeah, but they only threw out the two black guys.
There were three protesters. The other one was a white woman, and she didn't get thrown out. She survived by one vote.
Out. Yeah,
survived by one vote.
Yeah. So, but that's fine. That just adds fuel to the fire. I mean, we saw what happened in Chicago. We saw what's happening in Wisconsin. They're in for a rude awakening because DeSantis, nobody gives a fuck about him. Trump has absolutely annihilated him. Trump will probably be under trial. They're going to drag this out to maybe derail him running.
December 4th, I believe he's due to go on trial in New York.
I mean,
isn't that campaign kind of timing when they kind of start, or is that?
Oh, they're already campaigning.
They're already campaigning, aren't they? So okay.
So they're already in campaign mode. They just haven't got to the stage of the primaries yet.
Yeah. Primaries. Yeah. You're
so
right,
before we move on, we've got one last thing we need to do. We need to do a life check. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see what's going on here.
Put him on the big screen. Just highlight his.
I don't. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. I got to see if I can figure out how to do that.
Can you do it?
I got it.
All right. 1 second. Print screen that. Jesus Christ.
I think he's still alive.
Oh my God! He's gonna kill you guys carry on talking. I'm just gonna quickly see if I can get that.
But Vance, you're right. Yeah, they're dealing with non-issues, and it's to avoid dealing with the fact that the number one killer of youth in America now is guns.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, no, we need to talk about trans people and drag shows.
Well, they'll do anything. It's just distraction tactics, and projection.
I had this argument recently. The fact is, we had one school shooting in this country, which was Dunblane.
Yes.
And we said never again. And there was, we banned guns. And what do you know? There's been not a single school shooting since 1996.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Columbine was, I think, the most prominent one in America. It's the one that everybody remembers, and that's 1999.
That was really the first big one.
It was the first big one because that was what actual students at the school doing it for one.
Yeah,
they also
it wasn't
had
like
automatic
the Kent State
weapons.
riots and stuff like that. It was.
They had automatic weapons. They had made plans. They had built pipe bombs, etc. It was and these were guys who they one of them in particular, I think it was Eric Harris in particular. He was a massive fan of Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber.
Yeah,
he wanted he put in the manifesto that he wanted his attack on the school to be bigger than Oklahoma City. But again, this happened in 1999, and there's been over 300 school shootings since then in 23 years. It's nuts.
Just that little? I thought there was way more than that. I know that's a good thing to
I don't
say,
have the numbers. I'm sorry.
I'll take your word for it, Shredder, because you're fucking definitely
you're smarter than all three of us combined over here.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
I'm not that smart.
The thing is that I'm actually pro people having guns in America because they have hunting and stuff like that. But please, can we put some laws in to get the crazy people not holding them?
That affects profits, Gary. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I'm not pro-gun. For example, the fact is the Constitution, the Second Amendment, talks about a well-regulated militia. It doesn't say a private citizen is allowed to own his gun.
Yeah, exactly.
The Constitution is largely about ownership. It's property. It's a property document for the most part.
Yeah, that's right.
But at no point does it say a private citizen is allowed to own a gun. It says a well-regulated militia. It talks about well-regulated militia. It doesn't say, everyone is allowed to own a gun. And again, this thing was written in the days before they even had flushing toilets in America. They never dreamt of automatic weapons that could fire 20, 30 bullets a minute.
No, they still had muskets when they were
muskets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about maybe hunting rifles and stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, you can have a hunting rifle here in the UK as well. You're legally allowed to
exactly.
own a rifle.
You need to go through the permits, the checks, and stuff like that. And
yeah, but we have very rigid, and you have to have a lock and key installed, for your gun and all this kind of stuff, and you have to.
You also have to have random inspections by the police.
Yep.
Yeah, which are all before in America as well.
Yeah, they it's very heavily regulated here, so you can own a hunting rifle here, but it's very well regulated, and that's how it should be. And I keep saying to people, if we legalize guns here in the UK, if you think America was bad, we might not get mass shootings at schools, but the streets will be like the fucking Wild West. Like in my area here, the youth are going at each other with knives like there's no tomorrow. What do you think they're going to do if they can easily grab a gun? Because it's not about going into a shop and get it. It's just going to be easy to flood the black market here with guns, a lot easier than what it is now. And so I don't want guns legalized here in America. Whatever it is, what it is. They need their better regulations and all this kind of stuff, but I just get more annoyed at these mass shooters. They're focusing on the wrong people. Why are you going after kids? Go to the Capitol, target a few politicians. That'll change the bloody laws. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm just saying you'll see some law changes then.
Well, and let me throw my 2 cents in here, just because it's I'm on a weird part of the spectrum of all this, because it's I'm not anti-gun. I'm pro safety. I'm also, but I also agree that there are certain weapons that we really just don't need in people's hands. You know what I mean? And out in the public.
Yeah, like a Kinder Egg.
Yeah. So, but my thing is we also have to look at, mental health, and we also have to look at, parenting, and stuff like that. Because these people don't just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to go shoot some people. No, there are clear signs leading up to shit like this. And there's just no resources for people to actually, help their children. For me to get my kids counseling, and my kids aren't super whacked off in the head, but they're for me to get them, it's $90 per visit. And it's just
Lord.
How many states don't have any kind of regulation that says that people who who are suffering from mental illnesses or mental disability cannot own a gun?
I mean, there should be, as I said, if there's not, there should be everywhere. Like, as I said, guns are, as I said, I'm pro safety. And if that safety means taking it out of some specific people's hands, especially ones with PTSD, like, I'm sorry. Like, I really feel like that.
I mean, how many veterans would you save just by disallowing them to get guns? There's no rules against them having guns, and that's their number one cause of suicide, is them blowing their brains out.
Yeah,
there was an interesting proposal I had heard recently. I can't remember where I heard it from, but I want your opinion on this, Cheeto. Is how effective you think this would be?
The resident American here now.
Yeah, the resident American, but no, the idea was because the most commonly used gun in shootings nowadays, mass shootings nowadays, is an AR-15. So the proposal, one of the things they don't do is they don't show what an AR-15 will do to a victim. In particular, if it's a school shooting, they will not show what happens to a child's body. It's basically declared too graphic.
Yeah.
The idea I heard recently, and to an extent I agreed with it, was that, we show the images of the death camps. We show the images of Auschwitz to say never again. We show what brutality was done to human beings by the Nazis in the death camps at Auschwitz to say never again. Why not do that with the AR-15s? Show what the victims look like. Show what that does to a child's body.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with you, because you know what? At the same time, it's like, I do not disagree with that at all, because there are massive ramifications to what you do. And although it does borderline scare tactics, at the same time, guns are scary. You know what I mean? Like, that's the bottom line, is that one second, boss man. Guns are scary. And it's just like, kids, and especially kids, like adults is like, you should know better. But it's like kids, it's like they don't know those ramifications yet, especially if they're raised in a home where you have parents that are just absent, whether it's a mom who's working all the time and the dad's not there, or vice versa, or anything like that. Sometimes you have to scare the shit out of people in order to get through to them that this is real life. And that's kind of where I am. And I'm like, it's a great idea. I think it is. I mean, if my kids wanted to own guns or anything like that, I would be 100% for it. I'd be like, you look at that picture straight in the face, and you know exactly what's going to happen if you ever be irresponsible with a weapon, even if you're just playing with it. What happens if you're playing with it and you accidentally shoot your sister in the face? That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but again, the whole point is, like a standard handgun, like say a Beretta, you think, okay, well, if you shoot somebody, the odds are the bullet is going to go in and out. It could go straight through. You've got a chance of surviving. An AR-15, the bullet from that is, you've got pretty much no chance of surviving. The exit wound is going to blow out.
Out.
So that was the point of showing what an AR-15 would do to a child's body, to show that, hey, no, this is a dangerous weapon. This is something that should not be in the hands of people to the point where they could use this on a child.
Yeah,
or, any other innocent human being.
Honestly, if they came and said AR, like as I said, I'm not a gun person, but if they came and they said AR-15s just shouldn't be in the hands of anybody other than the military, I'd be 100% okay.
Yeah, that's how it should be. That's a gun that needs to be banned.
I mean, I don't know why. Like, where does it end? Like, let's give people bazookas. Why not? Let's just give people bazookas. If that's fine, let's just do that. And I know, boss man, I know you've been trying to jump in. Go ahead.
Well, I've got 2 points. I mean, how much political power does the NRA have? I mean, again, I don't know, because I mean,
they have this. It isn't political. It's money.
It's money. They lobby heavily, particularly with the Republican Party.
I mean, again, the thing is that because over here there's quite a bit of issue with people with knife issues, and a lot of innocent people are getting knifed. So I'm in favor of people being able to defend themselves on the street, but I don't know if I'm in favor of guns, maybe like tasers, something like that. I'd be in favor of that. It's just because like I've heard like lots of like grannies and stuff like that. I mean, like motorbike guys with like flaming like those sort of weapons. So I don't know. It's one of those difficult things that it's hard to argue.
Are you talking about here in the UK?
Yeah.
No, absolutely
No.
not. This country is so fucking stupid that if people will, if you legalize tasers, again, it gets on the black market. You're just going to have people getting tased left, right, and center. Like we're people underestimate how sadistic people are in this country and how fucking mental people are in this country. I like things how they are here because, you know, knives are knives. It's the same with Japan. Knives are knives. It's just one of those things. It's an unavoidable thing. I used to carry a knife when I was a teenager in my area for protection, and I used it once, and that was just to cut a bit of rope for somebody who had a heavy knot. Thankfully, that's all I ever had to use it for.
He had to use it to cut a rope from a guy that he punched, and he fell off a cliff, and he was holding on to the rope, and Ginger went, "Yoop."
That was it. Yes. They fell from the mighty height of a one-story building.
No. It was actually much more, wholesome than that. You know, he was cutting the knot because Sam was doing autoerotic asphyxiation, and it went horribly wrong.
That's it.
Ginger Greek was saving his life.
Yes, like this.
Yes, exactly. But now it's gone wrong for him, and he's choked himself to death.
Listen, I know we're talking about
gonna kill us.
Oh God.
He's gonna kill us so badly.
He's still there. Can he even hear us? Can we shout at him to wake up?
No. Why should we shout at him to wake up? It's great to have him just pop in every now and then and snore a little bit.
To go to bed and get comfortable, but yeah, fuck it, we'll just pop in.
It's about light relief. I mean, obviously the podcast it's got to be a bit of fun. We are going to touch on heavy subjects, but
no, I'm not. No, I'm just. I know.
Light relief.
I know we are talking about a heavy subject.
Actually, this is going to be genuinely questions to you now. Like, who could address like senates and framing Congress and stuff like that? Because the other day I saw Matt Walsh, who has zero qualifications to be talking about the subjects he talks about to Congress. How does this guy with that qualifications get to address Congress? I really am. Interested
because his side are just full of idiots who don't know anything about politics. They just run their mouth off and get voted in. It's as simple as that.
He's addressing politicians. He'd be like Pulsey Parker going to a select commission.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But these politicians, like you underestimate like how thick Republicans are. Like thick. They only know two things: get money and by any means necessary, and that's it. So to them, Matt Walsh, they just say, "Yep, this guy has a large following online. Let's get him in to talk about genocide of trans people and all this kind of shit." So woohoo! They don't give a shit, you know. And he probably donates to them and gets a platform.
Yeah, the most effective opposition to the NRA so far have actually been school shooting survivors. It's been the likes of David Hawk.
Yeah. And look what they did to him. To the amount of bullying and abuse they gave to survivors.
I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene followed him en route to give evidence to Congress saying, "I'm armed."
Yeah.
This guy's a school shooting survivor, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is following him saying, "I'm armed."
Yeah, when we sorry, I'm just going to address Vance's comment here. When we end this stream, we'll start a new stream, and it'll just be Zam sleeping.
No, I mean, what will happen is we'll leave this go still for
we'll
like 12
this
hours.
Going at the end.
Yeah, we'll all get off, and then we'll bring Zam back in, and we'll all leave. He can end the stream. He can end the stream when he wakes up. Well, okay, now Ginger's gone, so this Melon app sometimes really just gets. I just love it when he comes back in and it says "racist Greek joins."
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I love it if he doesn't realize he's still on stream when he wakes up and he's just like his cock's popping out his shorts or something. And next thing you know, your channel has a strike.
The entire channel will be terminated because it'll be like DSP wanking off on a stream.
Oh god!
Except Zav is sat there, and the camera is not below his waistline. Well, the camera is not above his waistline.
Oh my god! Oh. It'll be worth it. Go out in a blaze of glory. We'll rebuild.
We'll rebuild. We got a new logo. We can rebuild. We can rebuild it.
We can rebuild. Yes, I've done a more apocalyptic logo for our Friday streams.
Well, no, Zam apparently made it into our main logo now. So, I'm like, I mean, a change is good because we've had this logo for like ever and a day, like the blue one. But I'm like, okay,
it doesn't suit. No, it again. Oh, Zam is just creatively bankrupt anyway. So there's no point in saying anything.
that's what I said to him. I'm like, we can try for a little bit. Maybe it'll get different eyeballs on the channel.
No.
But I'm like,
it's Friday's topics.
If Zam gets us nuked like DSP, the new channel logo has to be the splatter of his goo.
Oh God.
Daniel Vance says it screams Hot Wheels to me.
It is a lot.
Well, there you go. So it's not apocalyptic; it's Fast and Furious.
Yeah, there we go. It's hey, look, we're all about family here. So
Right.
I mean,
Nothing's
more powerful than family. Well, that and Zam snoring. So I mean,
yeah, that's Zam snoring. Fuck, you know.
that poor guy. We abuse him so bad.
Yeah.
Well,
he deserves it, but I mean, you know,
he deserves it.
okay.
See, what we do here as 4 white guys is trying to get the message clear that we don't want him in here anymore. You know, if we're just dropping hints.
That's why
monetized.
That's why we put the sleeping agent in his tea, you know, because we just we wanted him to pass out so we could take him out.
That's it, exactly.
Was your father by any chance Enoch Powell?
Who, mine? Yes.
Yeah.
yes, he was.
That's so strange because that's my dad too.
Oh my God, we are brothers. No, my dad was Saddam Hussein. He literally looked like Saddam Hussein. Yeah, he literally looked like a skinnier version of Saddam Hussein.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Gary's father was Peter Sutcliffe.
Fuck off. My dad looks something like me. My dad looks something like me, actually.
Look, if anyone's even still watching this late into the stream, I mean, it's not even going to matter anyway. I mean, we could say whatever we want. And like, Daniel Vance is the only person who can judge us at this point. Like,
yes, exactly. I mean, we are like, as I said, it's an open forum, so we can chat shit and do whatever the hell we like. And on that note, let me just quickly do a refresh.
I'm going to say, is there anything? I know that a lot's happened this week. I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around it all.
Trying to think what else has happened this week.
Did they said that the Indiana Jones 5 is like the end of the franchise. So do we think he's going to die, or do we think they're just going to retire it?
Retire.
If Harrison Ford has his way, he'll probably say kill me. But Disney will be like, no, but we'll give you a nice send off. Oh, by the way, yeah, we was talking about that earlier when we did a reaction to it. The de-aging technology on that is out of this world, and they really polished it up. Because if you remember, the first trailer looked really bad, and this one they've polished up the effects a lot on it. And I've just got
the
this.
CGI looks shit.
What's that?
The CGI where he's falling out the plane looks crap.
Yeah, and that looks shit, but the de-aging stuff looks really, really
No,
good.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and I've just seen this at box office. Super Mario Brothers heading for a huge 195 million plus domestic 5-day opening.
Yeah, and
It's going to make $1 billion.
Well, I hope so, because again, like,
yeah, me too.
Like, no, you know what? I wanted to make a shit ton of money, not because I think it's probably the best, and it is really good, as a lot of people have said. But I fucking Rotten Tomato critics. I just want them all to eat shit because I'm so tired of.
Well, they're not Rotten Tomato critics. It's just aggregating scores from all over the internet.
Well,
so they're not really Rotten Tomato critics. You know,
whatever those 86 critics are.
Critics, I think, have to be. You know, they have to have some sort of professional recognition of some kind. You know, they have to work for a publication or some affiliated. Right, for example, we wouldn't be counted as recognized critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, we wouldn't. But
Jerry Jones
we wouldn't all belong to Rotten Tomatoes. You know, they take from everywhere.
Well, yeah, I know. They're probably critics from all over. That's what I mean, though. Like every single one of those people that shit on this film, I just want them to eat that shit, and I just want them to put some whipped cream on top, and I just want them to go as they're eating it while they got their pinky. Because like this is the type of bullshit that I hate with these kind of critics, and that's why I tell people don't listen to the critics. Like they're, hey, how was Eternals? Oh, it looks like they shit on it. I'm like, well, okay, like I'm like. Hindsight's 2020, but I'm like, see the movie. You know what I mean? Like, see the movie, see it for yourself. So, and then if you don't like it, you don't like it. But it's like, God, people look at these critics reviews like they're the be all end all. And it's like, but fucking hell.
I mean, certain critics' reviews, obviously, you can look at and think, well, these people actually do know what they're talking about to a degree. I mean, I think, for example, one of the best film critics in the UK, at least, is Mark Kermode.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
I'm going to pretend like I know who that is, but I'll take your word for it. That
Roger Ebert, and like when he was alive, he was good at that, because I would agree with everything he said. But
yeah, Mark Kermode is, and the best critic in the United States is Jeremy Johns for me.
So Daniel Vance also says The Whale was another recent movie that critics shit on, but was a phenomenal movie. I'm going off of what my resident Greek reviewer said. Is he said that it was Oscar bait, which I mean, fine if you make a good movie, that's great. But when you kind of playing it as Oscar bait to bring Brendan Fraser out of obscurity, I like
to the character, but even I just personally found it a bit too Oscar baity. But I think I might have come into it a bit too cynical, and so I say to people, give it a watch if you want to, and make up your own mind.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got like a list of like some of the movies that critics absolutely crapped on when it came to Rotten Tomatoes.
Go for it.
Audiences loved. And vice versa, stuff that critics loved and audiences hated. So, here's some movies that the critics loved but audiences hated. So the critics loved Ghostbusters 2016, Captain Marvel, The Last Jedi, Spy Kids, and Sausage Party.
Jesus.
These were movies that the critics absolutely loved, but audiences crapped all over. They hated
so I'll put my 2 cents in. The Ghostbusters 2016 movie, I didn't feel it was absolute shit. I get people's gripes with it, but I enjoyed it enough. Like Sausage Party, what the fuck? Like Captain Marvel, I thought was a decent movie. Like I enjoyed it. Yeah, I put it in my top 15 MCU movies, maybe top 10, maybe like right at the 10th mark, maybe 11th mark. I don't know. But I mean, I thought it was fine. Like I didn't think it was bad at all. What were the other ones in there?
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids was fucking
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi.
Okay, so Last Jedi. Okay, so my odd look at the Last Jedi is, was it a good Star Wars movie? Absolutely not. I thought it was a bad Star Wars movie. Was it a good sci-fi movie? It could have been. You put different characters in there. Even if it wasn't an episodic Star Wars movie, you might have been able to get away with a lot of the stuff they did in there. I like the Casino Planet. Everyone's like, oh, this Casino Planet side quest. I like the Casino Planet. Huh?
Canto Bite.
Yeah, Canto Bite. I enjoyed that sequence. I just agree with everybody that they did not need that there. There was no point in having it there. And Rian Johnson did not understand Star Wars, and he subverted a lot. Hold on, Gary. I know what you think about The Last Jedi. You and The Dark Knight Rises just fucking fumigate me. Like, so, but, like, The Last Jedi was like, there were good points to it, but at the same time, Rian Johnson purposefully went out of his way to subvert the fan base. Not even the expectation. He subverted the fan base. He said, oh, you want laser swords? Here you go. Well, we're going to throw it over our shoulder. I actually didn't have a problem with Luke being not quarantined. What's the word I'm looking for? Exiled Jedi. Like, because that's what Jedis do. Look at Obi-Wan. Look at friggin' Yoda. Like, they all do it.
Yeah, but cowards.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't mind. I didn't mind that part, but the way they went about it was just like, and then the way they killed him. And then I think Zam's the one who pointed it out to me. And I never even realized this. Not a single lightsaber struck in the entire movie. But here's the thing, boss man. Like, you walk into a movie with called The Last Jedi, you want some fucking Jedi action. At least I'm not a huge Jedi fan, but if you walk into a movie that's called The Last Jedi, you want some fucking Jedi shit in it, right? So I get everybody's gripe with it. I don't think it was as bad as everybody made it out to be, but there was definitely like that should have been a middle of the road at best like Star Wars movie. Like there really should have been
The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie.
No, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, look at that! What happened there?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Fuck off. Seriously, don't let him come back.
Oh.
The best Star Wars film. That's like you saying Black Adam. No, it's fucking not. All right. No, it's not. And I try. Look, I get so fucking fed up with trying to break down why it's not a good film. Okay, there are elements that are really good. The delving into the Force, Kylo Ren was amazing, but all Rian Johnson did was not just subvert expectations, but just lead everything nowhere and gave us nothing. Okay, he doesn't even understand basic physics, all right, of space. He doesn't understand a story needs some kind of payoff. Not doing it 3-4 times in a film where you get no payoff to absolutely anything. It's just awful. You stick in jokes that are 20 years old with the "can you hear me now" stuff. You turn the villains into a bigger pantomime than what they were than J.J. Abrams' fucking films. And what is it? It's a car chase fucking film in space. That's all it is, with a little bit of exploring the Force. And it's fucking awful. There is no payoff to anything. And they get to this planet, and what's the point of it? They come out in these ships, and it doesn't really do anything. And it's just all setting up for trailers to give you big trailer moments. And when you put the whole film together, it's just a big pile of dog shit, bad story, badly written. I didn't give a shit about what's her face sacrificing herself. That should have been the fucking Admiral Akbar, okay, doing that. We treated fucking Poe Dameron like a complete moron. We cucked him in the whole fucking film. Okay, it just you need to understand what constitutes a good story, and you don't, and that's fine. If you enjoyed it, great, but it is not a good film, and I'm tired of people that defend it. And it's one hill I'm happy to die on, because I could happily break down every scene of why it's so badly written. And that film is just a massive pile of gash, but it's still not as bad as Episode 2.
Oh God!
And Rise of the Skywalker was even worse.
Oh my God!
He's
away!
Oh man! Thank God for the alarm on my phone. I would have fucking fallen asleep. But
you did. You've been out for like
an
hour and 10 minutes.
I mean, yeah. Look, I'm going to bed. I'll see you cunts later.
All right, don't do me a favor. Don't ever watch this stream back. Just just let it pass by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Have a nice one.
Yeah. Take care, mate. All the best.
But here's the piggybacking off of what Ginger was saying. Like, here's a perfect example of a Star Wars movie that does subvert the expectations, but in a good way. Rogue One. We knew going into it there was no Jedi bullshit in it, because it's about the rebellion, because it's about, like, you know, this story arc here, and you don't need Jedis for that. The Last Jedi literally has Jedi in the name. It's not called.
And Vance said that, look, it had to run the story through too many mediums, of which needed to be seen to be understood what was going on. The movies, the novels, the comics, the games. But this was this was the problem, you see, because of the bad reception to The Last Jedi. This is where they really fucking started utilizing the comic books and novels and all of that to try and fix the mess that it was made. And they acknowledge it was a mess. J. Abrams even came out and he goes, well, I had a whole trilogy mapped out, and changes were made, and here we are. And that's why they paid $100 million. You don't pay a director. Hang on. You don't pay a director $100 million to fix something that was royally fucked up in the previous film. This is the other thing people need to understand, that it fucking derailed the whole trilogy that was mapped out. And Rise of the Skywalker, J.J. Abrams, another creatively bankrupt moron who just came in, took $100 million, took a massive dump, and ran away. You could have easily fixed The Last Jedi. You could have had Kylo Ren on a warpath, obsessed with Rey, and in that obsession, he fucking wipes people out and all this. And you could have left you could have made a better story out of the crap that Rian Johnson drops, but we didn't. There was no love left there. They didn't care about it. There is no love for Star Wars.
Well, funnily that you mentioned The Rise of Skywalker, because that's actually on the opposite side of the spectrum on this. It's a case of this was a movie that it's on my list here of movies that critics utterly crapped on, but audiences loved. So there was The Rise of Skywalker, Venom, Super Troopers.
I'm surprised critics and figures weren't on the same side with that one, but yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so again, there was Rise of Skywalker, Venom, Super Troopers, The Boondock Saints, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, those were utterly crapped on by the critics, but the audiences loved them.
Well, Boondock Saints is brilliant.
Okay, but
I mean, I honestly enjoyed Rise of Skywalker. I just acknowledged some people's issues with it, like the rushed pace. And I really think they should have divided it into two separate movies. They should have just bit the bullet and said, look, we're doing episode 9, and then we're going to culminate in episode 10. Like, we get it. Last Jedi is kind of a wash. So it's there, and it's happened, but we're going to course correct in 9, and 10 is going to be our big climactic finale where we are going to go all in, and we're going to do the end game, like, version, the end of the Skywalker saga. Somehow Luke Skywalker returned. Somehow Han Solo returned. You know, like.
Yeah, full disclosure for me, I've never actually seen Rise of Skywalker.
Good,
and
don't.
It's for the same reason I've never actually seen Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, I love Revenge of the Sith. It's actually
I have never watched episode 3 because I was so pissed off with episode 2.
Well,
yeah.
And
you're not missing anything.
The Last Jedi, frustrated me so much that I decided I wasn't going to watch.
I'm not the only one who actually likes Last Jedi in this entire.
Dude, you are the only person on the planet who likes Last Jedi. I'm sorry.
I don't know why.
Because you don't lack good. You don't have good skills to break down films, bro.
No,
No.
I'll break down why it's a good film for you if you want.
Well, hold on. This comment right here from Daniel Vance.
Does your explanation have anything to do with the fact that there was a high amount of lead in the water in Manchester when you were growing up?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
No, but here's the thing. Just replace critics with Gary. Gary nowadays says anything to just say something different, but everyone else...
No. No. There's the films that all right, Batman and Robin is a shit film. The Spawn film...
How dare you?
The Spawn film...
What did he say?
He said Batman and Robin's a shit film.
How dare you? Bat nipples all the
no
way.
Shit, Sherlock. I mean...
there's tons of films that I agree with everybody on. It's just that there's some films that I like. Like, for example, I thought that what Last Jedi did, which, again, we could disagree to this, is that it took away from everybody has to be other's brother's mother's sister and made it the fact that anybody could be a Jedi, that anybody could be special. That was the clear message on the bloody Last Jedi.
But that's what I said. That's the one thing they got right.
Right.
All the Force stuff. But that doesn't make up for the fact that the rest of the film was a pile of shit.
But people who are not fans of Star Wars don't get that the light swords aren't part of being a fucking Jedi. They're the last line of defense. It's like going to an airplane and saying the thing for landing on the flaming water is what a plane's for. No, landing on the tarmac's for is what it's for, because they're about even Yoda says it in Empire Strikes Back that Jedi's abilities are for defense, never for offense. So the whole thing makes sense from that point of view. Rian Johnson's trying to do that rather than let's twiddle our light swords at each other. It's like, no, let's go to the philosophy.
Gary, just because you can get one or two things right in a movie, it doesn't make it good. I'll go back to the example that I've used before. Michael Clark Duncan cast as the Kingpin.
That's amazing.
Phenomenal. But Daredevil was an utterly terrible movie.
Agreed.
Actually, the director's cut was better, but I know, I agree with you. It was, I saw it in theaters, and even back then, when we had very little comic book movies, I'm like, the fuck was that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan, amazing.
It is, again, with Ryan Johnson just taking the fucking piss with us. If you look at the cutscene of Rey, Luke going, "Oh, look over there, that's pirates." So she does her fucking thing of, I'm going to attack these pirates, and she fucking raised the village, and it's basically just the handmaidens that were helping Luke out earlier on. It's their part of town, and it's like, ha ha ha! There you go, another scene with no fucking payoff, and that was cut. Thankfully, from the film, and that just sums up The Last Jedi for me. If Ryan Johnson just explored the Force stuff, he would have made the best Star Wars film ever. But he did all the other stuff that was garbage.
No, he
didn't.
The whole thing with the whole thing where she goes into the hole, and she has like the reflections of herself, and they all get cracked because they're all like distorted images of herself. That's amazing stuff.
Okay,
but again, that's
great visuals.
You're still on the same fucking thing that we've been saying. What was good about the film? That's the Force stuff. The space stuff, which is the majority of the film, is garbage.
Well,
you've got these bombers. You've got these bombers at the beginning of the film that are going at a snail's space. That doesn't happen in space. If you got thrust, you're fucking going. But they're acting like these things are heavy, that they're carrying a heavy load in fucking space.
Yeah.
We're doing skids on a bloody X-Wing in space.
Yeah, no,
just stupid. Anyway, stupid.
Listen, I know the Last Jedi. Just as I said, I am no fan of Jedi bullshit, but at the same but I can acknowledge where it needs to be. The Skywalker saga is where it needed to be, but there you have exploration of Jedi stuff, like barely in the movie. She goes in a hole, she sees some reflections. Yeah, okay. The Kylo and Ren or Kylo and Rey are FaceTiming with the Force across the galaxy. Yay. Like, that's it. What else is there?
They call Snoke in it. They do other stuff like, for example, the deal with the whole thing of trying to destroy the New Order, but the New Order is a lot more evil. Because the thing is, the whole
what are you talking about? They're trying to destroy the First Order. The First Order was like on their ass the whole time. All they had to do to try to destroy the First Order was turn around. They would have gotten killed, but
yeah. And Snoke was again another character just wasted.
Yeah, like
he was built up to be like this huge threat, and then nothing.
Subverted. Exactly. Ryan Johnson's like, hey, this thing that you guys are speculating on?
Gone. Yeah. It's just and we're going to kill Luke. And in no time are we ever going to unite the three characters in this whole fucking trilogy, which is what everyone came back to see. Well, I say the three characters. I was a little bit annoyed that they were just focusing on them and not Lando as well, because he was just as much a part of it. But still, it just fucking pisses me off. Like, anyway, so now the next one, we're going 15 years into the future following this, and they better do Rey justice, and they better fucking bring back Finn and Poe and do them justice as well. But my money's on they're going to get cancelled. Those films are going to get cancelled, which is, the only liberal actually cancelling people is Kathleen Kennedy, but for the wrong fucking reasons.
Yeah, even if it comes out, I'm not going to bother watching it again. It's like Solo. I've never watched it again because of Last Jedi. I officially gave up on Star Wars after Last Jedi.
Well, just if you ever do think about it, like consider it. Solo wasn't as bad as some people made it out to be, but after it actually Solo suffered more from the Last Jedi backlash than even the Rise of Skywalker did.
It's one of those things where like I heard it was good, but because of what it was connected to, I decided, right, well, again, I'm still not interested. It's a bit like I heard Bumblebee, for example, was actually a fairly decent movie. I've still never had any desire to watch it because I remember how terrible all the other Transformers movies have been.
Oh my god!
And on top of that, there was a villain that you just couldn't see throughout the whole movie. It was very sad. There were floating things over there, but I mean, you just couldn't see them. It was John Cena. Just letting you know.
It was John Cena. Yeah.
He was the villain or the bad guy or like the antagonist.
Bumblecock. I
Yeah,
see. Yeah, I'm the same with you, Shredder. Like, I just, even now with the Rise of the Beast or whatever it's called, it's like I'm not gonna watch this.
I know. Everyone's like, because everyone knows I love Beast Wars, and they're just like, "Oh, are you so excited for?" I'm like, no, because they've kind of destroyed it for me. Like when they killed it, like when they shit the bed with Dinobots, I was like, I can't do it. I literally cannot.
You know, Paramount is the equivalent of me seeing Sony Pictures pop up. And when I see Paramount, I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to watch this. It's more than likely going to be shit. Like that that studio, I don't know how the fuck they survived all this time, because the films that they've churned out have been absolute wank piss, and you know, it's just Transformers franchise dead. G.I. Joe, they fucking killed that within 2 films. Well, they killed it after the first film, and the second film, nobody was interested in it. So like, well, we don't really give a shit. The one franchise we'll want, which is Mask, they haven't even considered that. Which, if I was to do Mask, I would make it an absolute fucking 80s fun fest. Like that'll have to be set in the 80s with 80s technology and 80s soundtrack, and get Shooky Levy back in to do the theme song.
Who would you get to direct it though? That's the question. That
you can get anyone.
I reckon you get the guy who directed the Raid. He could do that.
Gareth Edwards or whatever his name. No, not Gareth Edwards. He did.
No, it's Gareth.
It's something. Gary Evans, I think it is. Either him or oh god, what's his fucking name? Oh, we lost Shredder.
Yeah, I think Melon booted him or his internet. Nope, he's back. So probably was Melon. We had to do a Chinese fire drill again. I mean, is that like a legit question? Is that racist? Like Chinese fire drill? Is that actually racist?
I don't know. You're asking a room full of white people if that kind of thing is racist.
Yeah, but you guys have your finger more on the pulse than I do. I'm a dumb cunt American. So like,
yeah. I don't know. Everything's racist. If you,
I'd love a Mask movie.
Yeah,
but it'd have to be good, because the thing is that the big formers pissed me off. The He-Man, as much as I don't like to admit it, the Kevin Smith He-Man film, He-Man series pissed me off.
It's crap. It was shit.
The
premise was interesting, but they just made it into miserable mopey bollocks. Edgar Wright, it was who I was thinking would do great to do a Mask film.
Oh yeah, because he did like the Shaun of the Dead movie. Well, he did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Paul.
Yeah, Baby Driver, things like that. You know, all great films. He'd be perfect for Mask. He'd make it an absolutely fucking great 80s raw fest. You know, and I know for a fact if they did make a Mask film, they will go for fucking Justin Lin because of the Fast and the Furious stuff. And it's like, don't do that. Do not do that.
Or they will go for somebody like Michael Bay just because they think, okay, well, Mask it's gotta have explosions. It's gotta have these wild action sequences.
Yeah, and nobody with a personality and helicopters and American flags everywhere and all this kind of stuff.
Hey, I don't see a problem with that. You
go drink your Bud Light, you
colonizer.
All the vehicles are made by Lockheed Martin.
But I tell you what, though, I would love to see Bryan Cranston as Miles Mayhem. That would be great casting.
I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against that. I would have gone with Brian Cox, but he's a bit too old now. But Brian Cox as Miles Mayhem would have been for me. But Brian, you know, anyone who says Bryan Cranston to me, I'd be like, well, you know what? He could play whoever he fucking well wants. He could play Gloria from Mask if he wanted to. I don't give a shit, you know. So I wouldn't be against that. Obviously, you'd have to tweak the premise. You can't just be people with like these phenomenal armored cars and they're just antiques dealers and stealers.
Oh no! Do you know who they should cast as Gloria? Dylan Mulvaney. Just to royally piss off Kid Rock.
Go for it.
Oh, could you imagine Matt Moulton would go on about that for about a week?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Quartering would probably make about 70 videos of it in 3 days.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, we have to. Zam's there. There he is. He just chimed in with Gareth Evans. Yeah.
I thought you were asleep, Zam.
Yeah, go back to bed. God damn it. But I'd love a Mask film. I'd love a He-Man film as well, and a Thundercats film. But they just drag their heels. They're just so, they don't have stupid. Like there's so much money to be made here, but the longer you leave it, we're all dying out. So nobody's going to care. Yeah. By the time we get to making a Thundercats movie, you're better off making a Yu-Gi-Oh movie.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like they need to kind of make their own, like take ideas that they have for these, and like ideas for these movies, tweak them to be their own thing. And then I'm not talking about like make it a parody of Thundercats. I'm talking about make something that is original, and you take the premise of what you're talking about and just make it for a new generation. Because you're right, like we're all dying off. Why are we trying to get our kids into Thundercats and He-Man? Like these were great things when we were growing up, but it's not. It's not going to be for them. It's like the Muppets. We were talking about this earlier. Like I don't know if you were here when we were talking about it, Boss Man. It was like the Muppets. It's like, just go adult with it, because kids are not going to fucking care about the Muppets. I'm sorry. And any ones that do have such a short attention span that it won't even, they'll get past episode 2 and they'll be like, okay, I'm done with this. Time to go to my, what was it? I don't know what those shows popular right now. I can't even keep track.
Well, YouTube kids would be a bunch of colorful slime being thrown around.
You'd be very surprised, boy. It's actually Power Rangers.
Huh?
Power Rangers.
Well, Power Rangers has got a Netflix special coming out,
and they're bringing back the OGs, except for Amy Jo Johnson.
They're bringing back her and the Red Ranger, the original Red Ranger, aren't coming back.
Yeah, which is sad. And I kind of wish we would have gotten Jason David Frank.
He would have definitely come back. 100%.
I think he wasn't coming back. This was filmed way before he died, I think.
No, but he's been involved with the franchise way beyond Power Rangers. He's a longer serving Power Ranger because he's been in like so many different Power Rangers franchises. He definitely would have been involved.
I know, but for some reason he wasn't involved because the production, like he was still alive when the production was going on. So
that's weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I thought it was weird too. Amy Jo Johnson, I could kind of see her having her head up her own ass and not wanting to come back. But
not just that. She said, "Look, at the age of 50, I didn't really feel like trying to squeeze into the spandex again."
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I don't think they ever do. Well, I guess they do in this one because you can see them with their helmets off. But
and they did in their series as well. Yeah,
sometimes
they always had their helmets off.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Well, give her like a flannel outfit, like there we go. Like change the Pink Ranger to like a flannel outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like PJs. Give her Power Ranger PJs.
Amy Jo Johnson still looks hot though at 50. I don't care what she says.
Well,
yeah, but Power Rangers, they did make a film of that and they balls that up.
They've made a couple of films of that.
Huh?
They made a couple of movies from the Power Rangers, didn't they?
Oh yeah, there was Turbo, and then there was the original, and then there was Turbo, and then there was one other one I thought.
Yeah, they did one that came out in 2016.
Yeah, they did one in 2016 that had
the reboot.
The reboot with the suits looked fucking stupid.
I say I don't really count that one. That one's like the 2016 Ghostbusters. We just don't talk about that one.
Yeah, we just don't talk about it. Fucking yeah, the cast was all right in it, but the film just sucked. So yeah, there's always room to bring out more Power Rangers if they get it right, but you got to get the original people in. You got to get the hype around it. Otherwise, there's just no interest. I mean, there's a lot of hype around the one that's coming out in April because you've got the second Red Ranger and Pink Ranger, and you've got
Billy, the first Blue Ranger, and Zach, the first Black Ranger,
and the daughter of the Yellow Ranger as well.
Is that the actual daughter, or is that just the role that the actress?
No. The actual actress died when she was like very young because she was in a car accident in like 1999 or something.
Okay, Boss Man, I caught like none of that, but okay.
No, she was the original actress was in a car accident.
No. I know. I was wondering if for some reason if this actress was the actual Yellow Ranger's actress's daughter or something like that. But I think it's just I think it's just in the movie that it's her daughter.
Yeah. That's it.
So, which is I think is fine because it's not like as I said, I would love for them to pay a homage to Jason David Frank in some way, not obviously bringing him back, or even CGIing him in there somehow. I mean, it looks like the Green Ranger is in some of the trailers, so there obviously there will be something with him in there, maybe a voice.
I mean, maybe he is in there, and they're just kind of subverting expectations.
Yeah, but with him passing, like, okay, so here I'm gonna put my douchebag hat on. Wouldn't you promote that a little bit and be like Jason David Frank's last performance?
His final film role.
Yeah, like I'm putting my
Suicide Squad
douchebag
and
hat on,
Conroy.
but I'm thinking like studio dickheads at Netflix, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they would probably try to promote that.
Yeah, I mean they've done the same with Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
and Suicide Squad. Saying this is his last performance. It's like, oh well, what a pathetic way to go out. Great, well done. But
I've been playing his Justice 2 and he's in that, and he's like, could they stop me his last performance, please?
No, because he did about 20 other things after.
Yeah, so he did. Was he in Long Halloween, or was that voiced by somebody else? I don't remember.
No, he was in that.
I can't remember.
But I'm trying to remember what the last one was.
Since then,
it's just a shame we couldn't get him doing the voice for Batman versus Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
I didn't mind the actor though who played Batman in that.
Oh no, but how much more awesome would it have been if it had been Kevin Conroy?
Oh yeah, it would have been fantastic. I love that movie. I know, Ginger, you weren't super a fan of it, but
not really.
I loved that movie. So like the way they did the Turtles and Batman, and there were some cheesy moments in there that I kind of was like, but at the same time I was like, well, the fights between Batman and Shredder were just fantastic.
That was great.
They gave such homage to just like Shredder's like ninja or like ninja roots and everything like that, and just so good.
Yeah, I mean that part was great, but the rest of it was like I'm in the middle with it. It wasn't great for me, but people enjoyed it. Great,
Yeah. The other cringe thing was kind of like when they gave the ooze to like all the Batman villains. I felt like it would have been better if they just would have had the Turtles face off against all the regular Batman villains. Yeah, I think that would have been better in my opinion, instead of them being like mutants. Sorry, I think we've all seen it here, right? Yeah, we've all seen it.
Yeah, we've all seen it.
So I think that was very cringe, and I would have switched that part up. I didn't mind seeing them face the Batman villains, but I would have definitely had like an Arkham Asylum type format where it's like the Turtles are kind of like, and they kind of had this going through Arkham Asylum, but then all of the inmates were kind of like, doing the Arkham Asylum thing where they had to beat each of the bad guys, but they're not mutants. So
yeah.
Anyway,
admittedly, I would quite like to see a sequel similar to the comic books where the Joker poisons Shredder with his Joker gas.
Yeah, that was the part 2 of that comic book. Was what else happened in that? But I don't know. And they should have made a sequel anyway because it was a success. It went well, and the merchandise sold really well for it. So I remember like they did all the 2-packs with like a turtle and a character from the Batman side as well, and they were sold out everywhere.
Got a standalone figure.
What's that?
I think there was one which was a standalone figure as well.
Michelangelo
dressed as Batman.
That's right. Yeah, they sold really, really well.
So the last. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
Just the last role so far, and I know that there's some coming out, but the last role so far of Kevin Conroy's Batman was Justice League versus the Fateful Five. His last role that has come out recently was in the He-Man Masters of the Universe. He was in one episode as Hordak.
Oh, okay.
He does have 3 upcoming projects that are coming out. He relatively super is in post-production right now. I don't know what that's about. It's a TV movie, it says. An episode of Batman Caped Crusader, which is it's just as one episode. So I don't know. Was he supposed to be the voicing that? Now they had to kind of recast it.
No, it could be much like if you remember Batman Brave and the Bold. I know he had a one-off appearance in that alongside Adam West.
Yeah, but in this one it says that he's playing Batman /
No.
Bruce Wayne. Hold on, let me go back and let me just make sure.
That might have not been updated to get rid of that. Yeah,
and that might not have been. You're probably right. And then obviously the Suicide Squad one looks like it's going to be his last one. So, but yeah. Yeah, it says Batman Cape Crusader, 1 episode in 2023. It's in production. Batman Bruce Wayne. So yeah, maybe they only got 1 episode filmed, and maybe they had to recast. I mean,
is that the one that's done by Bruce Timm?
Yes, it looks. Yeah,
that's the one that. So they haven't updated it because that's moved to Amazon now. Originally it was going to be on HBO Max, and they scrapped it, and now Amazon have kind of got the license.
So that probably
to do it because I mean that's the other thing as well. Like DC are willing to license out their stuff to other studios now as well as a cost-cutting measure. So that's quite interesting. So that could give carte blanche to other studios to create other stuff. Sony, they've done a deal with Amazon with the Spider-Man stuff. So we're going to get a bunch of stuff there. I wouldn't mind Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider. That would be cool.
I want a Spider-Girl series. I really would love that. Like the Spider-Girl based on Mayday Parker from the late 90s, early 2000s, and up through honestly the early 2011s comic book. I was a huge fan of that series, comic book wise. I think
as well.
It did so well for a while, but it was kind of like the Star Trek. Like they kind of had to keep doing writing campaigns and stuff like that, like email campaigns, I guess at that point. Because I was a part of that. Like I sent emails to Marvel when I was like, you cannot cancel this series. I love this series. I want my kids to collect the series because it was kind of your by the book comic book numbers, but it was well written, like by Tom DeFalco. So it's like it was really well done, and I'm like, I want my kids to read, to read this, and I want it to continue, and it survived until I think like 2013. So, and then they finally they did a couple limited series, and then it went into obscurity, and now Mayday's been back in a couple of the Spider-Verse things, which I'm kind of hoping we'll see her in the new movie, but. I don't know. I love that series to death. I would die on that hill. If somebody asked me what comic book series I would bring back from the dead, it would be I would even trade most Marvel comics nowadays, especially Spider-Man for Spider-Girl. Not even gonna lie.
Most Spider-Man stuff these days just the fucking Spider-Verse stuff and all the bloody symbiotes.
Yeah. Well, they've kind of moved away from that in recent years, but I mean,
oh, good. I know they're killing off the Spider-Verse as well.
Forward to the new Into the Spider-Verse film.
Yes.
Don't say anything. I haven't watched any trailers on purpose. I know I know a lot of the characters in there because of the fucking toys have spoiled it. But I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I've purposely avoided it as much as I can.
Yeah, good
man. I've watched the trailers, which don't really show that much, but I am looking forward to because the first one was so amazing that I'm hoping that the second one's great because it's probably my top 5 Spider-Man films.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
You guys said you have or have not watched the first trailer?
I've not watched any of the trailers.
Okay, well, I'm not spoiling anything. Huh?
I have watched the trailer.
Okay. My only thing is, and as I said, this is very generic. It's not spoiling anything. I feel like they're going to throw too much into it.
That's my fear. That's my only fear.
Isn't it supposed to also be a part 1?
It originally was, but when the trailer came out, it did not say part 1 anymore. It just said Across the Spider-Verse. So originally it was part 1 and part 2, and now it's the part 1 is kind of gone. So I don't know.
No, that could be the delays, and maybe they bollocked it up, and now they just cut it down to just a one-off. Which...
I was going to say the first one, from what I remember, could have been too saturated with too many characters, but they managed to get just enough of everybody in there that it was fine. And I think this is what the second one could be.
I feel like they're not. I feel like they thought
the second one looks like they're ramping it up to 11.
Yeah, but and that's what scares me.
At the same time, though, if you remember, though, the first one, they did focus mostly on the three core characters, which were Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, and Miles Morales.
Yeah.
They didn't give too much attention to the other characters, like the Spider-Ham or Spider-Noir.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's kind of what I want for this one is I want there to be like a core cast and them not focus on like I don't mind all the visuals of like all the different Spider-Men, but I'm like, because I want to be able to pause it and be like, oh, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one. I don't want it to be here's a group of 12 spider people and we're all going on an adventure. I like the fact that in that first one it was like 6 of them. You know, like there was the anime one, there was Noir,
Ham, Gwen, Peter, and Miles.
Yeah, but again, the focus was all on Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Gwen Stacy.
Yeah,
whereas
and that's what we want with this one.
Like The Simpsons, for example, the Simpsons movie. I mean, how many cast options did they have? Like that they could have focused on, but they kept it simple. It was the Simpsons family who were the main focus,
which is what actually pissed me off about the film.
Actually, I mean, I was hoping for Mo. Mo's the movie. I mean, I just wanted it to be about Mo.
Well,
I've gone back because I've got Disney Plus.
In fairness, I had hoped Mr. Burns would have had a bigger part. He really is already tailor-made that he could be the main villain of any Simpsons movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that's kind of the problem is that he's been a main villain of the Simpsons movie, like Simpsons for eons now. Him and Sideshow Bob are kind of like. Is there anybody else besides like those alien guys like that are always in like
there's mafia guys as well.
Okay.
They pop in and all of this, but I mean you could make a film that centers around the whole town and it'll be awesome. But the Simpsons are just one and done, and I'm just fucking. If they make a second film, you can't focus on them. You can't because I just no. But they won't make a second film now because they've got rid of all the characters now. Because they don't want to offend anyone, so it's just like, oh, we're not going to put them in.
I was about to say, like the new villain is going to be Apu. He's going to be the main villain of this. he's finally had
he was gone, but he's back. Oh my god, is he going to do a terrorist act? No, he's just going to take part in inflation and rise your prices. Son of a bitch!
He's going to stuff a squishy down your throat.
Yeah, and charge you for the privilege. Oh. Oh God!
Is there anything else on the list? I'm kind
of that's it. I think we're done. I think we there's a fucking great session today, guys. Thank you for joining me, Zam, star of the show. Absolutely, his input, especially the second half, from the second hour onwards, his input was priceless, and I don't think we would have had. Got to the conclusion of our topics if it wasn't for that second hour input from Sam. So thank you to him. And thank you to everyone that joined us. And yes, we will see you next Friday. And God knows what else is going to pop up then. And what right-wingers will be offended by and what I will be offended by. And
what offense you will give.
And what offense I will give. And on that bombshell, I bid you all adieu. Bye.